is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news, intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversation. 96.9 FM. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Good morning. Explosive claims sparking a police force probe with the CID chief going on leave. Cannabis bills to be debated today in the House. And close but no cigar, the Bahamas misses the Olympics in basketball just by one game. It's all straight ahead this morning. I'm Dwight Strachan, and this is Morning Blend.
It's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. Don't you know that it's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. Up, it's a new day. Wake up, wake up.
Good morning again, Bahamas. It is Monday, July 8th, 2024. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Again, I'm Dwight Strachan. In a moment, DeAndrew Cartwright will be joining us. Also this morning, in light of U.S. President Joe Biden's performance at that first debate a few weeks ago, we're going to be talking about aging and when to have difficult conversations with the older people in your lives. And tips on keeping yourself mentally awake and alert well into your senior years. That's all ahead. Plus, later in business, we're talking about a new production, Papa Joe's Cafe. We'll tell you all about that. And about our lives role in all of it in business. That's all ahead on this Monday morning. But first, it's time for the overnight, the latest breaking news from while you're sleeping, and the top national and international headlines this morning. In the overnight, the head of the Criminal Investigation Department is under investigation after a viral voice note involving him circulated last week. Commissioner of Police Clayton Fernander issuing a statement on this, saying in response to the recent circulation of the voice notes involving Chief Superintendent Michael Johnson, the officer in charge of the Criminal Investigation Department, he wanted to assure the public that the police force takes the allegations very seriously. He said, quote, "We are committed to maintaining the highest standards of integrity and professionalism within our ranks. Chief Superintendent Michael Johnson has consented being placed on what is called garden leave, pending a thorough investigation into the matter. To ensure continuity and uphold commitment to public safety, we're told Chief Superintendent Anton Ramming will assume the responsibilities of the officer in charge of the Criminal Investigation Department during this period. Commissioner Fernander says the force is dedicated to transparency, accountability, and trust placed in the members of the force by the Bahamian people. Fernander told the NASA Guardian yesterday that he will hold a press conference today to discuss the matter further. Meanwhile, police are investigating 4 armed robberies that happened on New Providence over the weekend. In the first incident, which took place Friday night, the victim was standing outside a residence on Washington Street off Balfour Avenue around 9 p.m. That's when 3 unknown men approached him, one with a gun, and robbed him of his 2024 Yamaha motorcycle before fleeing the scene. The second took place early Saturday morning on Fire Trail Road. Police say around 1 a.m. the victim was in the parking lot of the nightclub when he was approached by 2 unknown men, one of whom had a gun. The men took his beige 2015 Hyundai Accent and fled the scene, heading east towards Mile Butler Highway. The third incident took place Saturday night. The victim was standing outside a Hannah Road residence around 10 p.m. when a gunman emerged out of nearby bushes and robbed him of cash in a white Nissan Caravan. Police say the vehicle was recovered in Cool Acres. And then yesterday morning on Wilson Tract off Wolf Road, police say the victim arrived home shortly before 2 a.m. and was approached by 2 armed men who shot in his direction. The victim ran and the men took his gray Nissan Cube. Police asking for anyone to be on the lookout for the stolen vehicles and anyone with information on the robberies to report it to police. Police are investigating a plane crash that took place on Exuma. This was Friday morning. The pilot, who was the sole occupant of the twin-engine Piper Aztec, was uninjured. Police say the incident took place just before 4 p.m. when the pilot and his aircraft said the aircraft experienced mechanical problems during a test flight, which resulted in a crash landing in bushes near the airport runway. Police also saying a 20-year-old woman was sexually assaulted on Saturday on Paradise Island. That incident took place shortly after 4 p.m. and police are searching for the man responsible. A retired boxer accused of sex crimes against 3 teen girls learned his trial date on Friday. James Killer Coakley arraigned on 3 counts of procuration and indecent assault when he appeared before Senior Justice Cheryl Grant Thompson via video link from the Department of Correctional Services. Prosecutors allege that between January 1st and February 7th, Coakley allegedly procured the girls, ages 15 and 16, in an attempt to have unlawful sexual intercourse with them. He's accused of indecently assaulting the minors during the same period. The teens allegedly worked at Coakley's bar in Andros. Grant Thompson has scheduled his trial for March 24th, 2025. The mother of an alleged sexual assault victim testifying that her rapist apologized for the incident in a telephone call. The mother was testifying in the unlawful sexual intercourse trial of Skylar Saunders. He's accused of raping a 15-year-old girl in September 2018 when he was 16 years old. The incident allegedly happened in the community center of the church in New Providence. Saunders, who's on bail, has denied the accusation at his trial before Justice Renee McKay and a 9-member jury. The mother testified that after Saunders' confession and apology, she told him never to call her phone again and to stay away from her family. The court heard that the mother didn't report the alleged sexual assault to the police. Her daughter reported the matter to the police in March 2022, almost 5 years later, leading to Saunders' arrest and charge. The mother says that she learned about the alleged assault after her daughter confided in a school's guidance counselor. Prior to learning of the alleged assault, the mother said that she had noticed changes in her daughter's behavior. Health officials have recorded 100 cases of COVID from April to June and are encouraging people to practice good hygiene in light of the highly transmissible strain that is circulating. Despite the uptick in COVID cases, Health and Wellness Minister Dr. Michael Darfel says it's nothing to be too alarmed about. The predominant variant in transmission is KP3, an Omicron strain which produces milder cases than the Delta variant, which was in circulation during the pandemic. On Friday, the Ministry of Health and Wellness said the National Communicable Diseases Surveillance Unit saw an increase in COVID cases over the past 3 months. In April, 12 positive PCR cases were recorded. This increased to 42 in May and 46 in June. The ministry says other flu-like illnesses were also identified during this period, prompting an earlier notice from health officials. And the compendium of cannabis-related bills that are scheduled to be debated in Parliament today may not be perfect, but are a great starting point to launch a medical marijuana industry in the country. That's according to Health Minister Dr. Michael Darville. He told the Nassau Guardian that once passed, the bills can always be strengthened and tweaked, but he added that the Davis administration cannot wait any longer on this issue and is committed to seeing it through. Overseas, Beryl making landfall on the Texas coast this morning with a dangerous storm surge and strong winds. The storm center hit land as a Category 1 hurricane around 4 a.m. Central Time, about 85 miles southwest of Houston, with top sustained winds of 80 miles per hour. Beryl strengthened and became a hurricane again late Sunday. The storm had weakened after leaving a path of deadly destruction through parts of Mexico and the Caribbean. In southern Texas, the storm's outer bands lashed the coast with rain and intensifying winds from as early as Sunday as residents prepared for the storm's arrival. A hurricane warning remains in effect for the Texas coast. North to Port Bolivar, Beryl's expected to weaken to a tropical storm today and a tropical depression by Tuesday, forecasting a turn to the northeast and increase in speed Monday and Tuesday. French President Emmanuel Macron refusing the resignation of the country's prime minister, asking him today to remain temporarily as the head of the government after chaotic election results left the government in limbo. French voters split the legislature on the left, center, and far right, leaving no faction even close to the majority needed to form a government. The results from Sunday's vote raised the risk of paralysis for the European Union's second-largest economy. Macron gambled that his decision to call snap elections would give France a moment of clarification, but the outcome showed the opposite less than 3 weeks before the start of the Paris Olympics, where the country will be under an international spotlight. France's main share index opened with a dip, but quickly recovered, possibly because markets had feared an outright victory for the far right or the leftist coalition. Prime Minister Gabriel Attal has said that he would remain in office if needed, but offered his resignation Monday morning. Macron, who named him just 7 months ago, immediately asked him to stay on to ensure the stability of the country. Macron's top political allies joined the meeting with Attal at the presidential palace. Japan and the Philippines signing a key defense pact today, allowing the deployment of Japanese forces to joint drills in the Southeast Asian nation that came under brutal Japanese occupation in World War II, but is now building an alliance with Tokyo, as both facing increasingly assertive China. The Reciprocal Access Agreement, which similarly follows Filipino forces to enter Japan for joint combat training, signed by the Philippine Defense Secretary and the Japanese Foreign Minister in a Manila ceremony witnessed by President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. It would take effect after ratification by the country's legislatures. The Japanese and Philippine officials expressed serious concern of the dangerous and escalatory actions by China, especially in the second Thomas Shoal, the scene of a recent confrontation between Chinese and Philippine forces in the South China Seas. In sports, it all came down to one game Sunday, one final opportunity to qualify for the Olympics, and despite a gallant effort, Team Bahamas fell just a bit short, losing to host nation Spain in the championship game of the FIBA Olympic qualifying tournament, right there in Valencia, Spain. In front of about 8,000 screaming Spanish fans, Team Bahamas lost 86-78 and will now have to go through another Olympic cycle for a shot to become the first in team sports from the Bahamas to qualify for the Olympics. Still, the men's national basketball program, inclusive of players, coaches, administrators, and support staff, have nothing to hold their heads down about. The Bahamas went through an undefeated pre-qualifiers in Argentina last summer and finished with a 3-1 win-loss record in the Olympic qualifying tournament over the last 6 days. They defeated Lebanon 89-72 in the semifinals on Saturday. In total, the Bahamas was 7-1 in the qualifiers dating back to last summer, with the only loss coming to the number 2 ranked team in the world, Spain, and in Spain. With the win, Spain captures the only automatic qualifying spot for the Paris Olympic Games from the Valencia Olympic qualifying tournament. The Bahamas' 3 players in the NBA, Javon Buddy-Hield of the Golden State Warriors, DeAndre Ayton of the Portland Trail Blazers, and Eric E.J. Gordon of the Philadelphia 76ers, led the way for the team in the championship game against Spain on Sunday. Hield, 19 points on 7 for 17 shooting from the field, but was just 2 for 10 from deep. Ayton had a huge double-double with 17 points on 8 for 14 shooting and added 14 rebounds and 2 steals. Gordon had 15 points on 5 for 11 shooting, 2 for 3 from distance. Valdez Edgecombe Jr., who was an overnight sensation in the tournament, held to 12 points Sunday, but was in foul trouble for much of the second half. From the WNBA, Jonquel J.J. Jones has been having an up-and-down season, but her team, the New York Liberty, is still rolling through the season, tied for the best record in the WNBA. And Saturday, Jones got up just 5 shots in 31 minutes, and the Liberty fell 83-78 to Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever in Indianapolis. Clark had her first career triple-double, becoming the first ever WNBA rookie to notch a triple-double. And the Bahamas Football Association kicking off a much-anticipated beach soccer tournament July 5th. Promises an electrifying month of action-packed matches every Friday and Saturday until August 3rd. This will be held at the BFA Nationals Beach Soccer Stadium at the foot of the Sidney Poitier Bridge. Games begin at 6 p.m. each Friday and Saturday, offering fans an evening of thrilling beach soccer excitement. This year's tournament features 10 teams vying for glory, promising a whole lot of excitement. The opening weekend did not disappoint, setting the stage for what promises to be a sensational series of matches. You can read more about it in today's Guardian Sports section. More from basketball and the Olympics. Giannis Antetokounmpo is now an Olympian. Antetokounmpo is heading to the Olympics for the first time after he scored 23 points, and Greece held off Croatia 80-69 Sunday in one of the 4 men's basketball qualifying tournaments finals, being held to determine the final spots in the 12-team field for the Paris Games. Greece will be placed in Group A for the Paris Games, with its opening stage games against Australia, Canada, and Spain, which defeated the Bahamas. Already having qualified for the Paris field, the 4-time defending gold medalists, U.S., along with France, Germany, Japan, Serbia, South Sudan, Canada, and Australia. France qualified as the host nation. The other 7 teams on that list qualified based on their finishes at the World Cup last summer. For the first time since 2004, Puerto Rico will be heading to the Olympics. At San Juan, the host got 23 points from Jose Alvarado. Puerto Rico will be slotted in group play in France with Serbia, South Sudan, and the U.S. The Americans in Puerto Rico also played in 2004, with Puerto Rico winning 92-73. And from tennis, Carlos Alcaraz, a defending Wimbledon champion, and number 1 ranked Jannik Sinner reaching the Wimbledon quarterfinals Alcaraz, a 21-year-old Spaniard, is making a name for himself for coming back from adversity. There is a possible rematch against the number one ranked Sinner looming in the semifinals, though each just needs to get there. In Tuesday's quarterfinals, Alcaraz will face number 12 Tommy Paul, and Sinner goes up against 2021 U.S. Open champion Daniil Medvedev. Meanwhile, Coco Gauff, number 2, eliminated by fellow American Emma Navarro. 6-4, 6-3 in the day's last match yesterday. That's sports, and that's the overnight. Time for your first look at weather. In your weather for today, we've got a low-level trough near the extreme northwest Bahamas that continues to support shower activity across the northwestern islands, while high pressure over the rest of the country will generate light to moderate breezes while keeping temperatures elevated. A layer of Saharan dust over the central and southern Bahamas will produce hazy skies. Got a number of warnings for today. There remains the risk of funnel cloud and waterspout activity. Boaters and beachgoers should exercise caution due to the risk of rip currents, especially along eastern shorelines in the central and southeast Bahamas. A heat advisory remains in effect through Tuesday, and everyone's being advised to stay hydrated, wear loose-fitting clothing, and limit prolonged outdoor activity, especially during peak sunshine hours. Heat indices expected to be in the triple digits today again. Saharan dust blanketing the central and southeastern islands, and those with sensitive and respiratory issues should take necessary precautions. Your forecast for today: for the northwest Bahamas, partly sunny, hot, and humid, with isolated showers and thunderstorms over the extreme northwest Bahamas. Mostly sunny and hot with a chance of isolated showers and thunderstorms, becoming fair and warm tonight with a chance of isolated showers and thunderstorms over the rest of the country. Well, east of the rest of the northwest Bahamas. Expect gusty winds and higher seas in or near showers and thunderstorms. Wind south to southwest at 10 to 15 knots, falling light and variable at times. Seas 2 to 4 feet. For the central and southeastern islands, look for partly sunny, hot, hazy, and breezy conditions today with a chance of isolated passing showers, becoming fair and breezy at night. Small craft caution in effect for the southeast Bahamas. Gusty winds and higher seas in or near showers and thunderstorms. Winds east to southeast at 10 to 15 knots, with higher gusts in the central islands, 15 to 20 knots in the southeast Bahamas. Seas 2 to 4 feet in the central Bahamas, but 4 to 7 feet in the southeast Bahamas. Currently in Nassau, it's about 83 degrees, but already feels like it's in the 90s, like around 92 degrees. We're looking at highs getting up to 92 degrees today, 92 Fahrenheit, 33 Celsius. The heat index will make it feel like it's 106 Fahrenheit, 41 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to a very warm 80 Fahrenheit, 27 Celsius. That's your first look at weather this morning. We'll have your extended outlook and a look at the tropics coming up after traffic in just a bit. It is time for a break, but when we come back, we're discussing the day's top stories right here on Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9, your home for fresh news and smart talk all day.
Interest on your savings at the bank? With as little as $100, you can start earning interest on your money while you're sleeping, eating, or standing in line at the bank with the CFAL Savings Express Plan. Ready to invest? Start by putting $1,000 into our mutual funds and earn interest there too. Because at CFAL, your interest is our interest. Visit CFAL.com to start now. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations of Bahamians.
Looking to elevate your gadget game or a tech trouble simply slowing you down? Escape to a world of innovation at Custom Computers, your go-to store for the latest cutting-edge tech. Whether you need to upgrade your life with the best from Apple and Windows or your device needs a little TLC, the Custom Computers Know-How Store is the destination for unbeatable expertise and quality repairs. With 2 convenient locations, there's a Custom Computers near you on Patton Street in Palmdale and Caves Village, or call 396-1100.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
Now let me see now. 326 EPIC. Hello. This Epic battery. This Miss Beulah from round the corner. I hear you're selling tires now on Wolf Road too.
Praise the Lord. It's about time. I live Fox Hill and Fire Trail. It's too far.
That ain't all. They open Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. On Sunday and holiday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m.
My brother Sam, he's a hacker, and he could go right there and get fixed up.
Call us at 326 EPIC. We ship also to the Family Island.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. Don't you know that it's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We are streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas, Channel 969, and BTC Flow, Channel 612. You can tweet us at MorningBlend969 or Facebook.com/MorningBlend969. Text us on the Guardian Radio text line, powered by BTC, 422-4796. Standard text rate supply. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan. Joining me now, Deandra Cartwright. Deandra Cartwright, good morning. Always great to see you on a Monday morning.
Good morning, Dwight Strachan. Always happy to be here on a Monday morning.
Wonderful.
The best way to start my week out is with you all here.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Glad to hear it.
Always a
I
pleasure.
feel the same way.
Great. Listen, you almost match that. Being on the show almost matches the cup of coffee that helps me get through the week, the day. Almost, not quite though. Almost
I
there.
might have to just explain that a little better.
So coffee helps me to, operate and whatnot like that. But the energy of being on air on the morning blend, just like its name, is almost like a cup of coffee to help me wake up.
Black and straw. No. Anyway, okay. Let's move. Coming up this morning, folks.
I think with everything that's going on, in our country, regionally, internationally, guys, we have to find ways to giggle. Honestly.
Anyway, coming up this morning, we're going to be talking about aging and doing it the right way, when to know that that perhaps you should not be doing certain things anymore, and that you need to be looking at things a different way. And we cannot deny this wasn't inspired by U.S. President Joe Biden and his performance of the debate a few weeks ago.
But not just him, his primary opponent as well. More so him, but I mean, come on.
That's a different issue there. That's mental illness. That's something else. But who knows? It might come up.
Yeah, but perhaps. But I'm wondering, will there be a cultural context? Because, in our society, you can't tell certain people that they're older. That's an insult automatically.
That's what we're going to be talking about this morning.
So it's
right?
almost like, how do you broach that?
How do you do it? How do you tell mom or Grammy that you don't need to be driving anymore? That right? How do you do all
the
those
senior
things?
citizen line, I literally have older friends who've said that, they will not use the senior citizens line. I have others who are proud to be like, the day they turn 65 is the day they start using that line. And then you have to
Seen
set
people
who
go on the line wearing a wig trying to pass as older.
Well, so many different things. And then you have the older ones who really think they're younger until their body reminds them.
Yeah.
So I think this is very important. And then, as you said, with the recent debates, sometimes it's not the body that reminds you, but the mind. And how are you counteracting that? Is your support system strong enough, sensitive enough to really help you get to the point where you can accept that?
Yeah,
because as we grow older, our bodies are changing ever since birth, right? And so there are different ways to deal with your body as you grow, because aging is a form of growth.
Well, we're going to be talking with a gerontologist about this morning.
Oh, we've gone all official.
Yeah, we're not just going to be talking out of... Yeah.
Hey, in the words of Sesame Street, that's a big word for Elmo. What does that mean?
We'll get into all of that in our 8 o'clock hour. Then in our 9 o'clock hour, we are talking about Papa Joe's Cafe. It's a new production coming up. We're going to get details about that. And Alive's going to tell us about that as well, their involvement in it.
Okay, that's great.
Yeah.
Do you know it's so refreshing, right? I feel like every other weekend now, there's some production of some sort, and I'm just so proud of our thespians, all of our actors and those in the arts, and that are pulling off these productions. Like, it's incredible.
Yeah, well, the writers and the producers and directors, everybody getting into it. So
Yes,
it's beautiful.
yes.
Again, because we used to have a very vibrant community like this, and things had fallen off a little bit, but I'm getting back into the swing of things, so that's great stuff.
Yes.
So that's all I had on this Monday, but let's begin with what else is in the news. And in the news, the big headlines, of course, in the papers today involving the police force and the explosive claims that have sparked this probe as a result of voice notes. We're going to get into that in just a bit. But, of course, the other big story is one of heartbreak. Team Bahamas so close, so close to qualifying for the Olympics.
A few points away.
Just, oh, man. And the headline in the Nassau Guardian in the sports section, close but no cigar. Oh boy. Wow. Bahamas misses the Olympics. To Spain, again, as our sports editor, Sheldon Longley, points out, Spain, that was going to be a tough matchup anyway.
They're ranked number two, right?
In the whole world in basketball. And they're playing in Spain on Sunday. And so the odds were stacked against our amazing team.
Yes, they really were incredible. They are incredible.
Yeah.
Like, they did a fantastic job.
Yeah.
And I think we also need to appreciate the fact that they were playing on foreign soil in front of so many persons cheering for the other team. Like, that contributes too,
Absolutely. So just so close. And again, they've only lost one since last summer. Beating so many teams who were ranked higher than they were, right? Including Argentina and beating Lebanon just a couple of days ago.
Because they were ranked 7-1, right? I think was it?
Well, that's the how many they've the win-loss record for them.
Okay,
7-1. Only one, but that was the one that they needed to win.
Yes.
Very badly. But hey, the teams that moved on are some big teams, right? The U.S., which is the defending gold medal team, 4-time defending gold medal. Oh boy, it's time for somebody to knock them off that perch, eh? France only qualified because of the host nation.
They do that?
Boy, I tell you. Germany, Japan, Serbia, South Sudan. Now tell me how. What's going on here? I'm sure people were saying that about us, and they would have said that about us too. I don't mean to insult South Sudan, but really, South Sudan, great. Canada and Australia.
You know, that's a very curious mix.
It is.
Like, I obviously I'm not such a big basketball person, right? But like, help me understand.
We got to figure it out. What is
Please.
South Sudan? What's happening here? Who did
Not
they
just,
get?
come on, man, leave them.
Oh, sorry, but these are big teams. And then, of course, the four. We would have been in this group. We would have been in the four that qualified on Sunday for the final four spots.
Because it was an automatic spot, right?
If we qualified.
Yes.
Yeah. So Brazil, Greece, Puerto Rico, and Spain. That would have been the Bahamas right there. Man. So, but Puerto Rico's doing pretty well. They beat the U.S. in one game. Last Olympics, and I know people were freaking out. People were freaking out.
Hold on, Dwight. Puerto Rico
Yeah,
beat
but
the U.S. of A.
one game, but
No. Think about it, right? So it's an American
2004.
territory beat the American mainland.
In 2004, Puerto Rico won 92-73. I know they were panicking at the time, but the U.S. came back, of course. Yeah. But yeah, Spain versus the Bahamas, 86-78. Man, this is what the AP is saying about it. Rudy Fernandez going to the Olympics for the sixth time. 6 times. A first for any men's basketball player. And Spain had to dig deep to get him there. Spain earned its 7th consecutive Olympic berth after holding off the Bahamas 86-78 in Spain. Lorenzo Brown, that's a Spaniard, not a Bahamian with a name like that, had 18 points for Spain. And 14 points from Willy Hernan Gomez, 12 from Santiago Aldama, and 10 from Usman Garuba. On the Bahamas side, Buddy Hield led the team with 19 points. DeAndre Ayton, 17. Eric Gordon, 15. And Valdez Edgecombe Jr. finished at 12. Spain's going to be in Group A for the opening stage alongside Greece, Australia, and Canada. So that was going to be a tough group for the Bahamas to be in.
Oh yeah.
But next time, we can do it.
we're getting better.
Yeah.
Like over the years. Correct me if I'm wrong. Is this the closest we've ever gotten?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
So we're getting better as time goes along. And I think we have to also give ourselves grace, right? We are, compared to other countries, a small country. We have
Smallest of any of those countries.
Exactly. So we should be proud that they got to this point.
Yeah.
Do you know that and it's not just like 1 or 2 games. They've been working on this since before last year, I think, working together. And then last year is where they really made the mark to get to this point. And compared to some of the other countries that are there, and if I was following social media correctly, persons were saying the Spaniards, the Spanish team obviously practices year round all the time. So we were able to match up with them. Come on.
Yeah.
And by what? An 8-point difference? Come on.
Yeah. Amazing. Prime Minister Davis congratulated the team on Twitter. X, as some call it. I refuse. Team Bahamas, you left it all on the court today. This was yesterday. While the outcome wasn't the victory we hoped for, your effort, determination, and heart are more than enough for us. You've made your country proud by going where no Bahamian team has gone before. This is the start of something special. We will be back, stronger and more determined than ever. Thank you for blazing this trail and with honor and carrying the pride of our nation. You couldn't have been better ambassadors for Bahamian excellence. Thank you on behalf of a grateful nation. Yeah, great stuff there. And yeah, so what year is this? 2024. We're gonna do this 2028. And with young folks like Edgecombe there, my goodness, 18 only, just starting off college. And can you imagine what he's gonna be like in 4 years, and others, the whole team.
Yes.
So 2028, Spain and all the others, watch it.
They have to, because think about the 18-year-old, right? So you may have others coming behind him.
Yep.
And it's almost like we have every so often we have other Bahamians that are drafted. I mean, maybe it's a long shot.
No long shot. It's
No,
gonna happen.
no. I was thinking about the lady side of things, but
Oh,
yeah, because
well, who
we had
knows?
like you have John Quell. Oh goodness, I forgot the name of the other young lady who was who was also on the team. So I'm just wondering, like we've been making our mark in these large countries on these sporting teams.
Yeah.
We just have to continue the momentum.
Absolutely.
We've been track and field noticed for so long that we forget other sports where our people are making such grand moves.
Yeah. So this is great. This is, again, the big first effort. And next time, we'll be right there. No doubt about it. Let's hear from you about it, though. 323-6232. 325-4316. 325-4259. Call us toll free, 242-300-5720. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. Standard text rates apply. Let's go to this call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning, Dwight.
Hi, good morning.
And good morning, Miss Cartwright. Good morning, Bahamas. So tell me something. We still have a Bahamian playing for another country. You say that's Greece? And going for the next
No.
stage?
That's not what I said. No. I
Okay,
was saying his name sounds like he could be Bahamian, but he's not.
Oh, okay.
No.
Good. I was going to congratulate him, although he ain't playing on our country thing. Because anywhere Bahamian go, I think we need to pick them up. Congratulations to the Bahamas basketball team, although they ain't make it. So we got to wait for another 6 years, eh?
Four?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. God is good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we should be happy for them. I know it ain't the goal or it ain't number one, but boy, they do good. They make us proud.
Mm-hmm.
They make us proud of them. Sometime from last year, years now, they been trying. And think about those older players who been around from that time trying, and they still a part of it, helping out in some ways, either coaching or assisting. I think it's very good, Dwight.
Yeah, absolutely. Very
Dwight.
good stuff. We're looking forward to it.
Yeah, Dwight.
Hi.
I hear you mentioned something with the Prime Minister said to the team.
Yes.
That's the only thing the Prime Minister saying this morning?
In terms of what?
Anything controlling being the Prime Minister of the Bahamas, any concerns to the Bahamas? Huh?
I don't know, but that's what.
But no, I mean, you already had a report with the Prime Minister's statement this morning on anything.
I don't believe so. No.
Oh, okay.
Something you want him to talk about?
Well, Dwight, as a station manager, I think you are. I know if you're familiar, or you not familiar, if you remember, like how some of us blind people remember, you just write these things down. You might remember. You had an attorney on hosting a show. On the show, I don't know if her last name is Fitzgerald or what. You remember that stage sometime year before last year?
Of course, yes.
Well, that was good, and I wish we had more of her on the show. But some of the people she had on the show, they make me feel good about the Bahamas. Like, we still get some officers and we get some people who are there risking their life and really putting it on the line to try and make things happen. I feel good about the Bahamas. So although I grew up not really trusting the police and believing in the police, I still was giving them the benefit of the, especially I get family members and stuff on the force.
Okay.
So
you can call us back, Papa, when we get to that. We'll get to that in a bit. We'll get to that story in a bit. Give us a few minutes. We'll get
You
to
mean the part with a lawyer saying, Jones, sir?
I don't know what that is, but okay. But you can call us back when we get into the police force issue. So I'm trying to look up South Sudan's team, see what's going on here. I'm not saying anything. I'm just looking. But this person says South Sudan is known to have very tall people.
Oh my gosh! I let's just spill some of this.
Anyway, this texter says that the USA team sounds like SAC, and South Sudan are black people. This is getting worse. So they can do what other blacks can do. What is happening? Furthermore, Africa is growing in dominance in sports. Okay. Well, this person says that I was very disappointed as a Bahamian that the 2024, that these games weren't nationally televised. Well, you don't have to be disappointed as a Bahamian, but I mean, there are rights to these things. It's costly to have the rights. So perhaps it just wasn't financially viable for any of the stations to broadcast that. But a lot of people were able to see it online. They had to pay. It wasn't easy for them to see it. But okay. Dwight, they probably won the African region. I'm sure they're a wonderful team. I wish them all the best. But again, as the Prime Minister said, this is just the beginning, and we're expecting great, wonderful things for Team Bahamas going forward for basketball and other sports, because we can do it. We can do it. Not just track and field. Okay. So, again, you can continue to text in if you want to send messages. I want to talk about Team Bahamas' performance there. So, of course, the big story in the country. What is going on the police force? The headlines in the papers, in the Tribune. CID chief on leave over voice notes. In the Nassau Guardian, explosive claims spark RBPF probe. CID chief goes on leave. Travis Cartwright Cal writing about it. The head of the Criminal Investigation Department is under investigation after a viral voice note involving him circulated last week. Commissioner of Police Clayton Fernander says, quote, in response to the recent circulation of voice notes involving Chief Superintendent Michael Johnson, officer in charge of the Criminal Investigation Department, I want to assure the public that the Royal Bahamas Police Force takes these allegations very seriously. This statement was issued on Friday. We are committed to maintaining the highest standards of integrity and professionalism within our ranks. This is the commissioner again. Chief Superintendent Michael Johnson has consented to proceed on garden leave in the first instance, pending a thorough investigation into the matter. Now, on Friday, I think Google went in overdrive, overheating with people Googling what garden leave was. Had you ever heard this term before?
I can't say that I have.
I don't think anyone's ever heard it before. I don't know. This is very strange. But, so apparently it is a period of time during which an employee is required to stay away from work, typically after they've resigned or been terminated. During this time, the employee remains employed by the company but is not expected to perform any work. Okay. So the commissioner says that to ensure continuity and uphold our commitment to public safety, Chief Superintendent Anton Ramming will assume the responsibilities of the officer in charge of the Criminal Investigation Department during this period. Now, Fernander says the force is dedicated to transparency, accountability, and the trust placed in us by the Bahamian people. He said, quote, we will continue to provide updates as the investigation progresses and ensure that appropriate actions are taken based on the findings. Now, Fernander told the Nassau Guardian yesterday that he will hold a press conference today to discuss the matter further. So, these are all a result of voice notes. In one of the voice notes, which was shared by Facebook user Sylvains Metayer, a man who identifies himself as Mikey, a wanted suspect, purports to negotiate with two men in 3 separate phone calls about turning himself in. The audio recording was clearly edited to include the 3 separate conversations the wanted man had. It's unclear when the phone calls took place. The first conversation is with a man who says he is hesitant to talk on the phone. The individual says, quote, I can't say what I want to say on the phone, man. I can't say what I want to say. You gotta trust somebody. The other man, identified as Mikey, replies, quote, when I done in the lion's den, that means that you say you need, and if I get that, then what, I stuck. This is going to be painful. Then the other one says here, listen to me, listen to what I'm saying, who's in charge of this operation. The so-called wanted suspect said he didn't know, and the other man laughed. The other man asked, the other day you called me when that thing happened with Rafi. You called me, right? I don't know if I should be reading all this.
You already
You
started.
hear anything else about that? He said, quote, after I tell them I had a conversation with you and I don't believe it, all that he gone. The so-called wanted suspect then said, you still got to say something at the end of the day. The individual speaking with then informed him that he was prepared to speak to someone else about the matter and said he would meet that person after work. He described that person as my boy and said he would arrange a little sit down. In the other conversation between the wanted man and another individual, the so-called wanted man asked, what are they saying their bill is? The individual responds, I'm being real with now. He tell me he want one. Well, you know him and I know him. He just want everything lined up like that. He's saying you will have to sit down. You have to get the extension. They will interview you. You know that's what it is. Then the wanted man responded, hit him back and show him how I will do it is before I come with y'all into y'all, I will deal with half and they get the rest as soon as I leave. He was informed by the individual he was speaking with that he will get back to him. In another conversation, the discussion continued about payments. The social media commentator who released the recordings and who portrayed himself as a whistleblower said the so-called wanted man in the recordings has since been murdered.
Yo.
Wow. Well, on Friday, F&M Chairman Dr. Dwight urged the government to request the participation of an international law enforcement agency in the investigation. He said in a statement, quote, while we believe the initial steps taken by the Commissioner of Police are appropriate, it is imperative that public confidence in the integrity and impartiality of the police force be restored. We call on the Prime Minister and the Minister of National Security to request the participation of an international law enforcement partner, such as Scotland Yard or the FBI, to oversee the investigation. Failing that, a full commission of inquiry should be convened. The Free National Movement expects urgent public assurance from the Prime Minister in short order. Well, Minister of National Security Wayne Monroe told the National Guardian yesterday that that he is confident that the police force can manage the investigation. Oh, boy. Monroe said, quote, I have confidence in the Royal Bahamas Police Force. If they require any assistance, it is the police who will determine that. It will not be driven by politicians. The order is that the police do policing. And so if they feel they need something, they will make the request. It is not for us to seek to direct them in what to do. That will be completely incorrect. They're the law enforcement professionals, and if they feel they need anything, they will make a request, as they've done in the past. The police are very good at policing. There's this allegation that the commissioner spoke to, and he will speak to it. And that is their job to do it, and it's our job to support them. I have confidence in the Royal Bahamas Police Force. Monroe said he was out of the country when he learned of the matter. He said, quote, the matter was brought to my attention when I was abroad. I forwarded to the Commissioner of Police, and I saw a statement that he issued that they are minded to address it. He said he was forwarded the voice notes last Monday or Tuesday. Wow, that's almost a week before. Okay. Let's get your reaction to all of that, folks. We're going to keep this very civil, but just in general conversation about this. So what do you think about that? Should this, in this case, just because we might not know how deep some things run, and perhaps to get a better understanding that it might be better for an international group, at least initially, to come in and make some assessments, not to tell anybody what to do, but just to get a lay of the land. What do we think about that? Let's hear from you. 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Yeah, Dwight. Poppy, this is one of the reasons why we need to consider, at least if we don't do it, just consider it, because we've been talking for some time about foreign police. I mean, just on the road, but to be in charge of the police force. If it's any truth to what's hearing, right? I believe the commissioner need to resign.
Okay.
In spite of me, this is my opinion. I'm not saying on Fox. I don't expect you or no one else to agree with me. This is just my opinion as a Bahamian citizen. I expect the the commissioner should resign, in spite of me feeling like, I believe his name is.
You think everyone should. So
the deputy. I think he's a good person, and I would have liked to know when he become commissioner of police. But knowing he works so close with the commissioner and the whole team, the executive team, they embarrass this country. I believe we need foreign police in charge of the police force at least for 1 or 2 years to help clean it up. This thing with Wayne Monroe talking about that the police can investigate themselves, not with him as the minister. I think he's too close for comfort to this whole situation.
All right, we got to let you go there. But foreign police to head the police force within the country's failed. If that's that bad, that's a bit extreme.
Yes.
That's very extreme. Wow. Okay. Let's take another call. Good morning. You're on the air.
Morning, Dwight.
Hi.
How are you?
Doing well.
Good morning to your guests as well.
Morning.
Dwight, imagine being asked to investigate your boss. The guy who you've been taking instructions from, the guy who you more than likely look up to, now you're being asked to investigate him. Police cannot investigate police. Police investigating police is like leaving a rat to watch the cheese. It's not going to come out good. It's not. Right? That's the first thing. The second thing is on garden leave. What a bunch of crock. That's a bunch of crock. Okay, and even the statement from Dwayne Sands, even that's a bunch of crock because I'm hearing them say, oh, they need, or they would suggest Scotland Yard come in, but at the same time he's telling public, don't believe everything you hear or what you think you hear, as if he's saying, okay, investigate this guy, but you know what? I don't think this guy did anything wrong. The politicians, of all them bunch, just a bunch of clowns. Just a bunch of clowns. They make no sense whatsoever. And truth be told, people lost confidence in the police when those 6 fellas got killed and after being released from the police station, and we never heard the end of that. And anytime you hear the police say they're going to investigate something, trust me, you're never going to hear the end of the investigation. How many investigations were underway when the last administration was in power, and we still have not heard the results of those investigations. So I have no confidence in the police, definitely no confidence in Wayne Monroe, and the rest of them, just a bunch of clowns.
Oh, boy. Wow. Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I think Monroe is a little off on this. I mean, he's saying that we can't tell them. I think this is the time when you can.
Yeah.
These allegations are serious enough that you could say, well, we're going to recommend, and this is what we're going to do. So I'm not too sure about that one. But, this is not like a constable you're investigating. This is
a senior man.
Way up. Let's take another call, and then we're going to get to another interesting article on in the NASA Guardian today. But let's take this call. Good morning. You're on the air.
Is that me?
Yes. Good morning.
Dwight, you're not coming over clear.
That's all on your end.
I don't know if I'm coming over clear, but what I want to say, right? From time we need a organization like the Green Beret to come over here, because these people were over here joking. Even the Jamaican and the Barbadians was police and had the police, Bahamas police force from that time. So I think we are stupid. Our children goes to school and we be into school. We need the Green Beret over here. Thank you.
Okay.
We need the green.
I don't know what's happening. Let's take another call. Good morning. You're on the air.
Hey, good morning, Dwight.
Hi.
And good morning to your host.
Morning.
Reference to the matter with the police force, I think for quite a while we have actually asked for the Bahamas to move to where other jurisdictions like Jamaica, they've gone a long time ago, which is to create an independent body to investigate the police force. I think we've had enough evidence in the past that the police are not the best agents to investigate themselves. It's not even up for debate anymore. There's countless numbers of examples where if you look at all of the cases, they've not come true on a satisfactory amount of them in terms of investigating themselves. And I just find it very disappointing that we are still here with, if anyone has had experience with the police force in terms of, cases where you had to deal with these similar cases, is Mr. Monroe. He's a very experienced lawyer. He's been around many corners when it comes down to law enforcement. And I think that he knows better. That's kind of the least smallest way I would put it. But Mr. Monroe knows better. And I don't think he is giving the Bahamian people his best judgment in this case. There is by this time now, and even if it's only for this particular case, an independent body should be established and perhaps create the first model where the police is no longer investigating themselves.
Yeah.
This is a failed exercise right out of the box.
Okay.
Have a good day.
Thank you very much. Well, it's an interesting article in today's Nassau Guardian. Our candidate Dame's writing about this, how a senior officer is to be investigated. The Constitution already outlines how this should really work. This is clearly outlined in the Police Service Commission regulations. The Constitution, at Article 118, provides for the establishment of the commission, which consists of a chairman and 2 other members appointed by the Governor General, acting on the recommendation of the Prime Minister after consultation with the Leader of the Opposition. And there is a commission already. The current commission members are Reverend William Thompson, Douglas Hanna, and Nelson Burrows. The Public Service Commission regulations outline discipline procedure in the case of offenses of or above the rank of inspector. Those regulations stipulate that when the commissioner considers it necessary to institute disciplinary proceedings against an officer to whom this regulation applies on the ground of misconduct, which, if proved, would justify his dismissal from the police force, he shall, after such preliminary investigation as he considers necessary, report the facts to the Governor General, the Prime Minister, and the Commission through the Secretary to the Cabinet, together with a recommendation as to whether the officer should be interdicted from the exercise of the powers of the functions of his office. And it goes on about how this should work. So there is something there. Do we feel satisfied that that would be good enough for this type of situation? Let's take some more calls really quickly before we take a break. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Okay, quickly, I'll stay on the periphery. Boy, Dwight, I've never heard... Oh, good morning to your guest. I never heard your guest laugh with so much fever.
It's the coffee, I promise you.
I wish I was recording your show, but I think I'll get it tonight.
Oh, dear.
Dwight, I often wonder why the mosquitoes bite other people but don't bite me. Maybe because I stay home and mind my own business, and I ain't all that greedy. I just want to make a little bit and then be satisfied. But that's just the way it is, Dwight. But the Constitution, you mentioned it. I want you to look at that carefully because I'm examining that and look at how they use the word may and shall. And you would get a pretty good understanding as to what gift was given to the leaders to continuously to keep us in slavery, because where there should have been the word shall, there's the word may. So the Constitution needs to be looked at carefully. But Dwight, there was a caller who talked about the banking system and why the foreigners would be calling when your credit is in trouble. And the reason being, if you have a Bahamian agency, the place is too small. And this ties in with what's going on with the police. All my business now, when I'm delayed, would be in the streets. You see? And this is the reason why it's probably best to have someone from the outside with fresh eyes to look at things that's going on within. Because, we had an opportunity to put Nygaard away, we let him go. And I could give you the list, and the commissioner knows what I'm talking about. So we need to really look at other fresh eyes. Because when you, like I said before, when you can't see things up close, you're in trouble. Anyway, I thought I said too much already.
No, that was great what you said. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Very interesting points there. Let's take another call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Hi, good morning, Dwight.
Hi.
And good morning to you guys. How y'all doing?
Morning.
Doing well.
Good. Good morning to the nation. I'm just getting wind of this conversation, but I'd like to remind the country that we were in a dispensation as far as the police force is concerned, where persons were actually being promoted, right, under the previous administration, who participated in falsifying evidence at the judicial level. That's all on record. I believe that this current commissioner, Clayton Fernando, has done a wonderful job in trying to restore credibility to the police force. I believe that there are many or numerous, a myriad of instances where we can see that no level of misbehavior or perceived corruption is being tolerated within the rank and file of the Royal Bahamas Police Force. I also believe, Dwight, that it is insane, and point to me one nation, one reputable or credible nation on this planet that calls in any foreign policing agency when they are conducting investigations. I believe that would further compromise and call into question the ability and credibility of the police force. And such recommendations I find is ludicrous. Okay, I believe that.
Are you sure there aren't? Are you sure? I mean, this is
I'm asking
small.
you name me one.
We can look it up. We can look it up.
One reputable or credible nation where there is stable politics practice in that country, where they go to any outside agency
we can
to
look it
conduct
up.
Their internal investigations.
But again,
Right?
I think the previous caller made some great points. We're very, very small, right? Everybody, all weekend long, people have been coming forward with stories about who's related to who and how this is this and that. This place is tiny. It's very tiny.
I don't disagree. I don't disagree that we're a small nation, Dwight. And just as it is in big nations, there will be business relationships, friendships, et cetera, But the point that I'm making, Dwight, is we have seen a steady attack against corruption or misbehavior on the Royal Bahamas Police Force since Clayton Fernando took the charge. We cannot deny, Dwight, that the police force today, in terms of its credibility, is far advanced and restored in comparison to where it was under the previous administration.
Oh, so you're making this about politics? Wow.
No, I am
Very
not.
interesting.
I'm showing you. I said to you, Dwight, very clearly, the commissioner of police, there was a previous commissioner of police who served factually under the previous administration, where there were instances, Dwight, where it is known on record that persons were promoted in high levels.
Okay, let me ask you something,
contaminated and collaborated in corrupting judicial cases.
Okay, let me ask you a question. Do you do any work with the police? Are you associated with the police force in any way?
Where's this question coming from?
I'm just asking
right?
a question because I mean you seem
I do not.
know some intimate information. I don't know how you can speak with such authority.
I am a Bahamian. I am a Bahamian who pay attention. I'm a Bahamian, Dwight, who pay attention to the news that comes out of the Guardian, which is my number one source for news for at least the last decade. I pay attention to the news, Dwight, and I can quote the news as provided by the Guardian over the last decade plus, Dwight, from listening to your show to the various shows from 6:30 a.m. in the morning to 8 p.m. on some evenings, Dwight. Okay, I'm just someone who's informed.
But we can say, and as that, I mean, you can say that under all the commissioners we've seen since we've been on the air, there've been officers who've been charged and gone up before the courts on matters. So this does happen.
Dwight? No, Dwight. Are you trying to jump over or deny?
No, I'm not. I'm just saying I wouldn't. Okay. I would not. They are wonderful officers. They're wonderful officers, but I wouldn't come out today with the type of language that you're coming out with. Because I have no idea. I don't think any of us really know what's going on.
Let me end with this, Dwight. Let me end with this, okay? In every organization, I don't care where it is, it even happened in heaven, there will be some questionable characters. There will also be situations where persons are falsely accused. That's why it's alleged, and it has to be investigated to determine what the facts really are. And I'm certain that once that investigation, the end of that or the results from that investigation are found, the requisite action under this Commissioner of Police, Clayton Fernando, will be addressed. But we must acknowledge, Dwight, and you are part of representing that fact, that there has been clear evidence since this commissioner has taken the forward of cleaning up the police force, regardless of who and what relationship, what rank, or what file. Thank you for the opportunity. God bless.
All right. I think it's the same. I don't see anything changing that much. But anyway, I don't know. But okay. No better, no worse. No better, no worse. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Pleasant good morning, Dwight.
Hi.
Hi, and to your co-host, pleasant good morning, ma'am. Dwight, it might be easier. This organized chaos in our political system, it's by design, man. So many of these issues that we have almost daily are not that complex. Do you think that it would make a difference if the public elected our commissioner of police, gave them 2-year terms, elected people who had direct oversight of police complaints, as opposed to leaving that as an internal process? Do you think it would make a difference?
I think there could be a whole lot of new issues if we did that. It might make a difference with some things, but I think it would create a whole new set of challenges.
But you don't think, what happens when new administrations are installed, Dwight? The Governor General changes, and the Commissioner of Police gets a sweet post somewhere, and somebody that, it appears anyway, somebody that is, I don't want to use the word loyal, but in line with the administration, they constantly grant favors to their pals. It doesn't serve us well, is my point, which is why maybe that's something that we should really give some consideration to. Take that, that's a lot of power. And it's almost like this fraternity, this clandestine fraternity where we don't really get justice. So maybe that's something for consideration, man. Thanks for allowing me to contribute.
Okay. All right. Well, I mean, you think about it, what type of person the public might vote for to be the commissioner. The person who shot the most criminals, who has arrested the most or arrested the fewest, the nicest guy, the meanest guy? I mean, I don't know. It could be all over the place.
Dangerous territory. And then also considering that during the interim in between administrations before they are officially installed, the commissioner of police is the one in charge of the country. Like, this thing goes a little bit far deep, you know.
And then like what we've heard from ministers responsible for local government, all right? Then this commissioner has more votes than any MP and can justify any actions because more people voted for me than voted for you, so you don't tell me what to do. I don't know. You're looking for trouble. If you want to use what MPs think about number of people voting for people, which I'm not saying is wrong or right. I'm just saying you're looking for new sets of trouble if you go down that road. All right, the calls are coming in. We got to go to the news. We got to take a break. We'll pick this up on the other side. You're listening to Morning Blend on a hot Monday morning here on Guardian Radio.
Hot. Very hot.
A lot more coming up after the break. Stay with us, folks.
She musters a smile for his nostalgic tale. Never coming near what he wanted to say, only to realize it never really was. She had a place in his life. He never made her think twice. As she rises to her apology, anybody else would surely know. He's watching her go. What a fool he sees. The wise man has the power to reason away what seems to be is always better than nothing, and nothing at all. Keep sending him somewhere back in her
is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We are streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. You can tweet us at Morning Blend 969 or Facebook.com/Morning Blend 969. Text us on the Guardian Radio text line powered by BTC 422-4796. Standard text rates apply. And now at 8:23, time for another check of your weather for today, brought to you by Sherwin-Williams Paints. Sherwin-Williams Paints has got you covered for all of your painting and equipment needs. Visit Sherwin-Williams Paints online or in-store today. Here's what's going on. We've got a low-level trough near the extreme northwest Bahamas that continues to support shower activity across the northwestern islands, while high pressure over the rest of the country will generate light to moderate breezes while keeping temperatures elevated. A layer of Saharan dust over the central and southeastern Bahamas will produce hazy skies as well. So there remains a risk of funnel cloud and water spread activity, and boaters and beachgoers should exercise caution due to the risk of rip currents, especially along eastern shorelines in the central and southeastern islands. A heat advisory is in effect through Tuesday. Everyone's being advised to remain hydrated and limit outdoor sun exposure during peak sunshine hours. And we're looking at another day of heat indices in the triple digits. That Saharan dust layer is going to mean those with respiratory issues need to take special precautions as well. So for today, for the northwest Bahamas, partly sunny, hot, and humid with isolated showers and thunderstorms over the extreme northwestern islands. Mostly sunny and hot with a chance of isolated showers or thunderstorms, becoming fair and warm tonight with isolated showers and thunderstorms over the rest of the northwestern islands. For the central and southeast Bahamas, partly sunny, hot, hazy, and breezy with the chance of isolated passing showers, becoming fair and breezy at night. Temperatures today getting up to 92 Fahrenheit, 33 Celsius, but the heat index will make it feel like it's 106 Fahrenheit, 41 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to about 80 Fahrenheit, 27 Celsius. In your extended outlook, mid to upper level troughing continues to support pockets of showers and thunderstorms across the country, while high pressure, along with that layer of Saharan dust, will produce hot and hazy conditions through Wednesday. So for tomorrow, Tuesday, variably cloudy, hot with isolated showers, mainly in the extreme northwest Bahamas, mostly sunny, hot, and breezy with a chance of isolated showers and thunderstorms in the central and southeast Bahamas. Wednesday, partly sunny and hot with a few isolated showers or thunderstorms, becoming fair and warm at night with a chance of isolated showers or thunderstorms. In the tropics, as we told you this morning, Beryl making landfall in Texas. Elsewhere, tropical cyclone formation not expected during the next 7 days. That's your Morning Blend weather check, brought to you by Easy Car Sales. Are you shopping for a new car? Before you decide, compare. Easy Car Sales invites you to try an electric vehicle. Take a test drive. You will love the smooth, powerful ride and big savings. Dump the pump and drive electric. You'll never go back to gas. Drop into Easy Car Sales on Gladstone Road or visit easy242.com for more information. And it's time for a check of traffic brought to you by RBC. Find your loan solution with RBC. A reminder of the work going on East Bay Street near the foot of the Paradise Island Bridge. That area, just not a pleasant place to be if you don't need to be there, as they are preparing for paving east of the bridge. So keep that in mind if you're there. Right now, in your real-time traffic on Shirley Street, things are busy as you approach Mackey Street, the intersection there, westbound. And we're seeing some pockets of Congestion on Soldier Road north of the Prince Charles Robinson Road intersection on the way to Wolf Village and Bernard Road. Robinson is busy for you from Soldier straight through to Marathon East-West Highway. Blue Hill Road looking busy for you just near Carmichael and north of Soldier Road on the way to Independence Drive. And of course, Milo Butler Highway, heavy traffic for you from Fire Trail straight through to the roundabout with Tawny Williams Darling Highway this morning. Some building traffic on Carmichael westbound to Coral Harbor Road. That's what we're seeing right now in your real-time traffic. That's your Morning Blend Traffic Alert brought to you by RBC. Start a conversation at rbc.com/loan/all of you.
RBC will find the right loan for all of you with competitive rates and extended terms to suit you. Whether it's for debt consolidation, your next vehicle, or home purchase, sometimes we all need a little more. No matter the reason for the loan, we're here to help you find the solution. RBC. RBC has all the loans for all of you. Let's start with a conversation today.
Experience the immediate care you deserve at Doctors Hospital Urgent Care. When emergency strikes, trust our expert physicians for fast, quality care. With extended hours and cutting-edge medical technology, we're always ready to serve you. Don't wait or take risks with your health. Visit our urgent care suite at Doctors Hospital West on Blake Road for immediate, trusted, and best care.
I'm Andy Knowles. I'm the president and co-founder for Let's Swim Bahamas.
And my name is Nancy Knowles. I am the program director for Let's Swim Bahamas.
This whole idea of taking swimming lessons to the Bahamian public was something that we thought was a great idea.
I've always been a learn to swim coach and a life-saving coach. And so this is now my turn to kind of really see learn to swim being developed.
Although we ran swift swimming for some 30 years, and we offered Let's Swim lessons, we knew we were only touching a small percentage of the Bahamian public.
I enjoy the children and how happy and excited and joyful they are. When they come here, it's a very positive thing for them.
At the end of the day, more kids will be fulfilled, more kids will have a life-saving skill, and more kids will stay away from crime.
Crime-free.
Looks like me.
Do your part. Join the movement to a safer Bahamas.
We're back here with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strollo and Deandra Cartwright. Coming up in a few minutes, we're going to be talking about aging the healthy way, the right way, and when to have those the difficult conversations with the older folks in your life about slowing down, about when to stop doing things, when to start doing things, all of that coming in just a couple of minutes.
Very important.
Yeah. And then later in business, we are talking about the new production, Papa Joe's Cafe. We're going to get all the details about that. I'm looking forward to that as well. So a lot to get to on this Monday morning. Want to quickly get through the last of these messages here on the big story that we've been talking about all day. The investigation into the explosive claims being those voice notes about the police force. And now with the CID chief on leave. So some of you responding to the call we got before the break with Anton. They've got a whole list of countries that have sought out help from other international jurisdictions to investigate their police force when matters, when they wanted to weed out corruption. So it has happened before. Of course, right? I mean, come on. And it wouldn't say anything, even if we were the first to do it. What about it? What about it? If you are small enough and you're worried that the connections are just too prominent for people to really be honest, you have to do whatever it takes to get things right. Let's read these messages really quickly. This person says here, This is a text. Wow. This message is for the Commissioner of Police. We, the public, are not assured that this matter can be investigated internally. Wow. Another text here. Just play the recorded messages. You reading them ain't doing the conversation justice. Well, you listen to them. Listen to them. I agree, though. I didn't, and I couldn't at all. And I'm sure they're heavily edited with the ones that played in the papers today, ran in the papers today. But yeah, they've been circulated enough that everybody and their grandmother has it. So listen to them yourself. It's, oh boy, this is got names and all kinds of stuff in it. Can't read that. Not going to read that. This one says here, are we to deny what transpired in those voice notes? If not, let's truly get the force or these individuals, or to accept the fact that there is no sacred honor for young people.
What?
I don't know what's happening. I always say, there's a text, I always say crime is big business in this country. That's why nothing will ever change. As a mother who raised 2 good sons, my biggest fear is their interaction with our police. Wow. That's scary, but of course there are many wonderful officers on the force.
Yes.
But as with anything...
They're always good apples, you know?
Nobody believes that a thorough investigation will be made. Maybe a fall guy will be selected to get some paid leave or another position. Yikes. I agree with the FNM that we need international investigating teams. But them acting as if they cannot initiate that process is beyond disingenuous. When will they back up those talks by starting the process and let the chips fall where they may? The corruption and meddling with the police force affects both parties. The need for a foreign body reviewing the force is absolutely an indication of a failed state, though. Where do you think we live, Dwight? You would not be able to define the Bahamas using the literal definition of the phrase.
What?
If they took over, if you had some assistance, I don't think that's what that would mean. If they took over, absolutely. This person says that we don't need any foreign police to do anything in this country. We just need to take a strong stance against corruption and make sure people are punished in a timely manner. Okay, well, do it. Do it if it's that easy. We've been saying that for years, and yet here we are across the board. Not just the police force, any department in the country, private companies, all over the place.
Yes.
Right? We've got a major problem. We know this. You know this. Whenever allegations come up, within hours, people have a story about the person alleged to have committed something. Oh, well, you know, back in blah, 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 what they did when I was doing this and with that. So come on. The Minister of National Security needs to resign. The police commissioner needs to resign. The Prime Minister needs to call another election and rest for the integrity of the Bahamas. That's the text. This scandal involving the police force crystallized the long-standing complaint of people who've told us that the force is corrupt. We all know that this is a fact. Really? Okay. Sadly, in the Bahamas, corruption runs from the lowest levels to the highest office. Until we are willing to do what the Kenyans recently did, we will continue to live in this cesspool of a broken country. Wow.
I'm not quite sure that's the comparison we want to be making with Kenya and recent activities.
Mm-hmm. Okay. The reason why crime is out of control is corruption's at the highest level in our law enforcement agencies and the justice system. Wow. Oh, boy. Oh, what a tangled web we weave. Bring in another organization to investigate. We may only have 5 officers standing. Come on now. This person says here, why don't accountants conduct their own audits?
That's what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
In other industries, even in other legal process entities, you have consultants that are brought in. So I'm not understanding why there would be so much pushback against bringing in specialists to help us understand the issue. We do it in so many different areas. So why not this? And perhaps not for corruption, but I believe it may have been done before on different areas.
Yeah. Listen to this text. I find it so comical that Anton would say that name one of the country that allows foreign outlets to investigate. Didn't Minister Wayne Monroe say just a few weeks ago that the FBI will be here to help investigate the missing American tourist? Well.
Whoop, there it is.
Right there. Please think of how much more time they did this before. Oh, boy. Wow. Okay, who did this before? Well, allegedly. Two quick things relating to your current conversation. This wasn't part of the current conversation. Did Dr. Darville say the medical marijuana bill is not perfect, but they want to push through it anyway? Apparently he did. He said you can always tweak it later. Lastly, how can we expect the police to investigate themselves when we have so many cars driving around without plates? That's totally different. But that is a big problem, indeed. Personally, I'm not emotional over the voice messages that I heard. Concerned but not emotional. I believe, though, that when this particular matter goes to court, things will begin to unravel that some folks generally wouldn't even think about from a legal perspective. Emotional assumptions can blind one's reality when it comes to the working of the law. This is going to be exciting and one for the books in the history of the Bahamas. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. And a couple more as we go to the break. This person says here, be sure to read all of my text. This is exactly the one that you can't read. My grandpa and my dad and uncle plus other relatives were police, yet I still don't trust them. But I have something positive to add. Just as the USA has multiple policing forces, example, state troopers, marshals, rangers, blah, 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 blah. The Bahamas likewise needs at least two police forces, the Bahamas Marshals and the Bahamas Police Force, where the public elects the Commissioner of Marshals and the Commissioner of Police. Let the two rival forces watch each other, plus have an independent body above them that reprimands both forces. And don't confuse the greatest little navy on earth, the Defense Force, which is the Bahamas military arm, with a police force or department. Interesting. This is the first time I've agreed with the statement from the National Security Minister. This is the first time I've agreed that the Minister for National Security needs to resign. Exactly what is his job of oversight if this earth-shattering situation doesn't trigger that responsibility? Does he realize how many cases could be impacted? Yeah. We're going to leave that there. I'm sure there's going to be a lot more to talk about it with this over the next few weeks, but we're going to take a break and be back with more. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9.
What you gonna do when they come for you? Bad boys, bad boys. What you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Bad boys, bad boys. What you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Bad boys, bad boys. What you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Nobody now give you no break. Police now give you no break.
Maybe it's time to explore your options. There's no harm in reviewing your mortgage arrangement and considering a better deal. CIBC Caribbean can help you narrow your search and decide. Switch your mortgage to CIBC Caribbean and enjoy a special interest rate and help towards your switching cost. Visit CIBCFCIB.com/inspired home for more information. Conditions apply.
Looking for great device deals and offers this summer? Look no further. Alive has special discounts on the latest smartphones, Ring devices, and accessories. Plus, as an Alive customer, you can expect exclusive yet extra offers and rewards, which means even more value for your money. We're talking more data, prizes, and surprises. Upgrade with us and experience the perfect summer with Alive in store or at bealive.com/deal.
Living with a neurological condition shouldn't define you. At Cleveland Clinic in Florida, we do whatever it takes to make life better today while discovering new treatments for a brighter tomorrow. From epilepsy management to specialized spine care and brain tumor surgery, we're delivering world-class neurology care for the day-to-day, for the days you live for every care in the world. Visit clevelandclinicflorida.org/Caribbean.
Maybe it's time to explore your options. There's no harm in reviewing your mortgage arrangement and considering a better deal. CIBC Caribbean can help you narrow your search and decide. Switch your mortgage to CIBC Caribbean and enjoy a special interest rate and help towards your switching cost. Visit CIBCFCIB.com/inspired home for more information. Conditions apply.
Age ain't nothing but a number, they say. Whether you're a baby boomer or a Gen X, Y, or Z, Easy Car Sales invites you to be part of the new Generation E. We drive electric for the savings, for the planet, and most importantly, for the smooth, powerful ride. You really can have it all. We love our EV and we are Generation E. Join us. Everyone is welcome. Visit IamGenerationE.com to find out more. Brought to you by Easy Car Sales.
Don't shop at Sherwin-Williams then. Don't get the best service in the Bahamas then.
The love is really, really strong in Sherwin-Williams. We don't just sell paint. We service you with a smile, good hearts, mind, soul, and body. And we love our customers as much as we love ourselves. Yes, real talk. I'm not just saying this to impress myself. We love to go beyond with customer service. So they feel delighted to come in Sherwin-Williams because they know I can either see Dee Dee, or I can see Shelly, or one of our other wonderful staff members. We treat our customers with the respect of our boss because there are many paint companies they could choose to go to. No, baby. If they go to some other paint companies, so I'm gonna get this little thing at the end of the week.
We want to make sure you get that little ting, Shelley. Come visit Shelley and Dee Dee at Sherwin-Williams Bahamas, and you'll surely find colour in every day.
RBC. RBC will find the right loan for all of you with competitive rates and extended terms to suit you. Whether it's for debt consolidation, your next vehicle, or home purchase, sometimes we all need a little more. No matter the reason for the loan, we're here to help you find the solution. RBC. RBC has all the loans for all of you. Let's start with a conversation today.
Take some advice from your Aunt Angie. If you're going to invest in an exotic pet, choose anything but a Norwegian forest cat. Apparently, they will eat all your jewelry. Before you know it, you're racing to the vet when your cat escapes from his carrier and lunges for your earrings. You crash and your cat swallows your pearls. But if you're smart, you'll have CG Motor Insurance and get the best comprehensive coverage for the price.
Get the best comprehensive coverage for the price. CG Atlantic Insurance Agents and Brokers. Good like that. All benefits are subject to policy provisions, including eligibility at the time of service.
Are you ready to elevate your day with a burst of flavor? Look no further than Dunkin', your ultimate destination for everything delicious. From our freshly brewed coffee that is sure to pick you up, to our signature frozen beverages that will cool you down. And don't forget our mouth-watering sandwiches, made to order all day. Dunkin' has it all. And of course, our lineup of fresh donuts, muffins, and more. Dive into a world of yummy flavors at Dunkin' and bring joy to your day. The Bahamas runs on Dunkin'.
Age ain't nothing but a number, they say. Whether you're a baby boomer or a Gen X, Y, or Z, Easy Car Sales invites you to be part of the new Generation E. We drive electric for the savings, for the planet, and most importantly, for the smooth, powerful ride. You really can have it all. We love our EV and we are Generation E. Join us. Everyone is welcome. Visit IamGenerationE.com to find out more. Brought to you by Easy Car Sales.
We're gonna give you a check every week for a year. Percy's pension plan, Island Game, keep you winning. Percy's pension plan, dream big, we will help you live it. Percy's pension plan, Island Game, we got you. Percy's pension plan, from the friends you can trust. If winning is a must, come play the game you know, cause your best chance is with us. The most trustworthy name is Percy's Island Game. So put 20 on your account and ride this easy train at Percy's Island Game.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Yes. All right, here we go now. When I was a little boy running around the yard, I used to hear the older men talking by the bar. They talk about the things they did when they were young and strong, and how things are better now than it was before. I didn't understand what they meant back then. I'm a little older now, I think I comprehend when they say age ain't nothing but a number. You're just as old as you feel. Even though I move a little slower, everything I
We are back with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with Deandra Cartwright. And this morning we are talking about aging and when to know whether it's time to have that conversation with the loved ones in your life that maybe it is time for you to slow down, to take a different path, and how to age in the healthy way. We are going to have that conversation with gerontologist Dr. Indira Grimes. Good morning. Great to have you on the show.
Good morning. Thank you for the invitation to be here.
All right, so let's begin with the definition. Gerontologist, let's talk about that and gerontology in general before we get into our discussion. Tell us a little more about that.
Well, gerontology is basically the study of aging and all that comes with aging, including geriatric medicine, but it's more holistic in terms of looking at the social changes, psychological changes that also come with aging, as well as healthcare concerns.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so we cannot deny that this conversation wasn't inspired by U.S. President Joe Biden and his performance at the debate a few weeks ago against Donald Trump. A lot of people are thinking he might be a little too old to be the president of the United States, probably the biggest job in the whole world. But let's talk about it. A lot of people are in similar situations, getting up in age, maybe past retirement age, but still working, still driving, still doing a lot of things. And family members are concerned. Wait, I think it's time for you to slow down. Let's talk about that in general. How do you have this conversation? How do you know when you might need to, I don't know how to put it delicately, pack it up?
Well, you use the word delicate, and it is a very delicate subject to approach, difficult for family members and the person who's aging themselves to find that right moment as to when to pivot and change their function and purpose in life. Because, and this is going to be a worldwide problem because the world's population is aging. The World Health Organization has predicted that the older person population, that is those over 60 years, the number we had, which is about 1 billion worldwide in 2020, is predicted to increase to 1.4 billion by 2030 and double that, 2.1 billion by 2050. So we are going to see an increase in the population over 60 years. And that's in particular because there's increased life expectancy, and that's generally all around. We're seeing the same changes in the Bahamas. And there is a decrease. The second reason is a decrease in persons having children. Fertility rates are also declining, and families are getting smaller. And so we just see this expansion at the top of the pyramid population, such that older persons will be, the Christmas tree is sort of turned upside down.
Oh boy, wow.
Right.
Okay, but aren't people doing more, living longer, and more active than ever before?
Because also we're seeing there's been advances in healthcare. Healthcare is more accessible. And then there's technological advances that allow persons to do more, access better, and so on. These also aid aging and healthy aging. So aging is just that accumulation of changes, even at the cellular, molecular level, and that may lead to a gradual decline in function physically and mentally, and could put one at risk of disease occurrence, disability, and eventual death. But it doesn't mean that just because you're aging, you're incapable. There are 80-year-olds who have the cognitive and physical function of a 20-year-old, and then you have others who may not. And the thing is that most entities, even the World Health Organization, there's many other, PAHO and so on, encourage that we encourage healthy aging, that we also allow older persons to be as much as possible involved in the community and development of societies, because they will make up a major part of the population, maybe a third of the population in just a few short years.
So does that mean that we need to readjust the concept of retirement?
Readjust. Yes, exactly. And many countries are considering extending the retirement age. France, I think extended it to 67. Other countries are thinking 70 years, including the U.S., etc., because we're finding that they still have a lot to contribute, their experience and so on. Now, they may not be as efficient, in other words, accomplishing tasks in the same amount of time. They may not do it exactly the same way the younger population would, but they still can contribute. Right. And so we have to find ways to involve older persons more such that they feel purposeful, because having a sense of purpose, social engagement contributes to healthy aging.
Wow. All right. So if you are, you have an older parent, grandparent, still driving, still working, and you're like, this is a lot. You need to relax. These are the golden years, right? You need to, why are you putting yourself under this stress? How do you have, again, that delicate conversation with them that perhaps it's time?
Well, that's a good question. So you have to have an open conversation. You have to have good reasons as to why you're suggesting they slow down, and also allow them to help make that decision for themselves. I think with older persons, it's so important. We have to remember they are our parents and grandparents. They ran the show for many years. Yeah. For you to come in and suddenly tell them how to live is a bit of an insult. We have to be careful. They have their pride and dignity too, so they need to be a part of the decision. And if there are health reasons, if there are physical or mental reasons why changes should happen in their function, then certainly the conversation should be introduced. And I think with good reasoning, sometimes they help you make the decision. They may say, oh yeah, maybe I shouldn't drive anymore, and so on. Here's the keys. And rather than you just telling them to stop. That is certainly encountered with a lot of argument and frustration on both sides. If they are mandated to do things they're not ready to do, right? Yeah. I think it's still good, though, that if they're able to, that they are involved in the family dynamics and wider community volunteer work, community engagement in organizations and so on, even at the family level, interaction, intergenerational interaction with the grandchildren, the great-grandchildren. So, I mean, I don't know what we'd do without the grandparents doing the pick up and drop off from school and the extracurricular activities, while many of us in the workforce are still going, to our 9 to 5s, et cetera. It helps the family to be as functional, but it also brings generations together. And I think that involvement is very important. And we only should step them down as we see it necessary and bring them into the decision-making as well, so that there's not a lot of resistance to the change.
Yeah. From your perspective, how do you think we're doing as a country, the Bahamas, in terms of providing outlets for our older folks to be participating, to keep that mind active compared to, let's say, like a Japan or even the U.S.?
I think we still have a bit of work to do on that. We can do better. Many times seniors ask me, where can I go to just do something, to volunteer, to do senior activity, to interact with my peers? And they just want a safe place that really doesn't require a lot of expense to just hang out, but also feel a sense of purpose. They want to help others. And so on, and I have been asked for that. And there are some entities, Red Cross, church organizations, and so on, that have some things built in such that the population could access, but it's limited. And so I think we can expand on that better. We need to develop more senior community centers, adult daycare centers. Maybe you don't have to call it adult daycare centers, but centers where all levels of older persons can go to, if it's for the day, for a few hours, just to interact. And then incorporate things like physical activity, mental activity work, so playing games, doing, dances, social activities like that. Usually bring out a lot of good health for older persons. They really enjoy it, and this helps them a lot. They look forward to it. Yeah.
Well, we see it all the time. 100-year-old jumps out of a plane or goes skydiving, whatever. So there are, I guess, dangers of painting everybody with the same brush.
Right.
How do you determine? I know you talked about looking at everything on a case-by-case basis and having the conversation.
Yes.
If there were issues before, but if there weren't, allowing the individual to continue to do what they've been doing if there's no issue.
Exactly. Many older persons live independently and conduct their business on their own quite well. Certainly, there should be a connection with someone who can look after them should an emergency or a change happens. So it takes a bit of planning, right? We're getting older, and even when we're in our 40s and 50s, we should think about what happens post-retirement. What would we like our life to be? And who would we like to be involved in any decisions? Should things change? Should we not be able to do things for ourselves? So this means putting some plans in place, putting it in writing, maybe speaking to legal representatives to help us, to guide us, and so on. Planning is a big part of it. And usually once you have those plans in place, you can move on with your life because you know what all the contingency plans are, and those who are involved, who you trust, know as well how they are linked to that. And then get our regular checkups, medical checkups, and so on. See the doctor regularly, ask questions, make your concerns known about changes, whether you think your memory is changing, whether you think your mobility is changing, etc., whatever levels of function, so that you could be screened and properly checked out to maintain health at its optimum. Yeah. And families also, if they notice any changes, should make that known early. The earlier the intervention, the better.
Any tips to help with the memory? Are there any studies have shown that something works? Food?
Certainly a healthy lifestyle, healthy diet, usually a diet rich in fruits and vegetables, low in cholesterol, low in salt, low in sugar, because diabetes and high sugar, blood sugar has been linked to Alzheimer's disease and memory and cognitive impairment. And then physical activity. Nothing beats being physically active on a regular basis. And it should be some level of activity that you like to do. It may be gardening, it may be swimming, riding a bike, going for walks, dancing class, something you enjoy. Staying socially engaged, with family, friends, the community, trying to learn new things. So teaching yourself new things. We read about older persons graduating from high school, college, earning a new degree, starting a new job, moving to a new country. These things challenge you to learn new things, open up your mind, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's no age number that limits you to the next phase of your life.
Is there a particular age when you should start doing that? Or should just never stop?
Never stop. Never stop.
Yeah, wow. All right. If you have any questions for Dr. Grimes, give us a call, 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. You can call us toll free, 242-300-5720, or tweet us, Facebook us, or text us, 422-4796. This texter says, can we, I think we just did that, can we point out this has to be an individual conversation? My grandfather was farming up to 90. My father was moving better at 93 than Joe Biden at 81. Oh, boy.
Oh, dear.
He only stopped driving at 90 because road traffic wouldn't renew his license. Oh, dude, is that how it works
that
here?
happens. Well, what happens is the insurance companies require a medical review after the age of 70. So they carry in a medical form for the doctor to fill out for the car insurance companies to continue providing insurance. And so this would lead also to problems getting your car license and getting your driver's license renewed at road traffic if you don't have the insurance coverage.
So that means it'll test your eyes as well, I guess.
Yeah, so that involves looking at hearing, vision, physical mobility, control of the chronic diseases that the person may or may have, and so on. And once the doctor evaluates that and finds these aren't going to interfere with driving, they would clear them, sign off on them getting insurance so they can continue driving. And for many people, just driving just gives that independence, that sense of freedom. So we have to be careful when we take away these levels of things and put ourselves in their shoes. But at the same time, like you said, we mentioned earlier, it's a delicate balance. So older persons also have to be honest with themselves and honest with the changes that are happening to them, not refuse to be evaluated or checked out, because it might be a simple problem that can be fixed to get the person back to their optimal self. I read that President Biden is refusing to be evaluated, which is unfortunate, and that does not instill confidence in those who rely on his leadership. So, it's a balance. So while people may be concerned, and sometimes their concerns are real concerns that should be looked into, the older person has to also be open to the fact that, okay, I'm aging and maybe I am not the same as I used to be. I'll at least agree to an evaluation.
Right. Wow. It's getting very political, these texts here, but as expected. All right. So again, if you've got somebody who's refusing to step aside at work, maybe, what do you say? How do you have that conversation?
Yeah, that's a tough one. So you have to use some objective, I believe that you should use some objective evaluations to be able to point out that the person may not be functioning at their best or in the way they should, that best benefits the work area they're in. So this is where, human resources will need to implement, if they haven't already, making sure that performance appraisals are done. And then we have to look at strengthening legislation in this country, because I don't believe that we have it. If we do, it's not enforced. Dealing with evaluating the older employee in terms of specific evaluations regarding their physical and mental health and how that influences the work they do. Because they may not, for instance, let's talk about medicine. If they're not going to be deemed safe as a medical doctor, it doesn't mean that they can't work. It just means that maybe in the clinical area of medicine, they can, their contributions might be best shifted elsewhere,
maybe
in administration, right? Or in some other level of community work versus at the bedside in the hospital. Right. So, but the evaluations have to be quite specific, depending on the area that we're talking about, the profession, et cetera, and legislation and policy framework within the company needs to support that, such that you don't have any challenges on the other end.
My goodness. All right, we only have a couple minutes left. Let's take these calls really quickly. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Yeah, good morning, Dwight, and good morning to your guest.
Hi.
Yeah, I'm gracious to have this lady on the radio because I just, in other words, what she's saying is I'm asking, I'm going to be 60 in a few days, right? And I don't really have any gray hair. I exercise. So I want Mr. Strachan to know, Mr. Strachan, you should know this. You don't start to exercise, you don't wait until you reach a certain age, because by then you haven't developed the habit of exercising. So that's kind of like a no-brainer. You're not going to develop that habit. But I just wanted to share with her that I totally agree. And there's evidence that sugar actually is the culprit, because I don't know if she's seen the studies in mice in which they consumed a high fructose corn syrup diet, and the mice actually lose cognitive skills, and they forget to do basic things and remember where certain corridors were, pathways, and it's just obvious. And it also leads to the plaquing of the brains, like she said. So Sugar actually is the culprit, and it's hidden in every food, even the dressings and the ketchup.
Yeah.
So we between a rock and a hard place. Bless up.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, caller. That's excellent information, and I agree with you, and I am familiar with that study. So we have to be careful, and avoid things like fast food. Try to prepare fresh food, fresh fruits, fresh vegetables. And I'm happy to hear about the 90-year-old farmer because not only is that person active through farming physically, but they're eating their own organic, homegrown food. And so that contributes also to their healthy aging.
Yeah, well, and hey, happy birthday, 52. We can't call you that anymore. Got to call him 60 now. One final call. Good morning, call. You're on the air.
Is that me?
Yes, yes.
Oh, good morning. Good morning, lady. Hey, Dwight, it's amazing you all talked about birthday. When you said that, I just remembered that today is my birthday.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Anyhow,
Happy birthday.
Dwight, to the lady, right? Now, she talked about people getting old and stuff like that, and the youngsters and stuff like that. The thing is, the people that are getting old and the youngsters, there are some of them that, hello?
Yeah, we're listening.
We're listening.
Some of them that are in the medical field still giving human being what you would call animal urine for medicine.
What now?
If you don't believe that, you could just check the medical situation and check it out and see if that is right. I don't think it's right.
Okay. All right.
No, I have not heard that. That would be very unfortunate, but I have not heard that of that situation.
Boy. All right.
Listen, it wouldn't be a Monday morning without somebody calling with something like that.
I don't even know what else to say. Dr. Grimes, your final, in 30 seconds, final tip to folks who are on both sides of this, dealing with the older loved ones and the older folks who are like, wait, they're trying to push me out of this.
Right. So, the world is aging. We have increased life expectancy in the Bahamas. So the older persons are here to stay. In within a few years, our older person population would be a third of our population. That's over 60.
Wow.
So at the end of the day, as a previous caller mentioned, we have to adopt a healthy lifestyle really early and keep it going, keep it a part of our everyday activity, get back to our roots and eat healthy, organic, from the soil, avoid fast food, stay active, and do what we like to do, stay socially engaged and connected with people and information that's going on. Keep up with your medical checkups and be evaluated for any concerns that may be happening. Make sure your doctor is aware of what's happening. Families also need to stay connected with their older persons and be there for them as needed.
All right, Dr. Indira Grimes, thank you so much for being here this morning. Hopefully we'll have you back
for having
soon
me.
because 52, now 60. Mentioned gray hair. That doesn't mean anything if you have a lot of gray hair, right?
Anything, no.
All right.
It's just a look.
Thank you very much, Dr. Grimes.
You're welcome.
All right, we're going to take a break from news and be back with Morning Blend Business in just a bit. Stay with us.
They meant back then, I'm a little older now. I think I comprehend when they say age ain't nothing but a number. You're just as old as you feel. Even though I move a little slower, everything I do is twice as sweet, just like wine. All the time, champagne, my name, caviar, from afar, candy, brandy. Sounding good. Let's go count. Come on, let's go.
I just can't understand some people, I am told. They live their life from day to day, thinking about getting old.
This is Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning and welcome to Morning Blend Business on this Monday, July 8th, 2024. Welcome back to our Morning Blend listeners. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan along with Deandra Cartwright. And this morning, we are going to get all the details about a new production from Current Cut Productions. Yeah, we're very pleased to be talking about Papa Joe's Cafe. We've got with us the writer and director, Nicolette Eldon. We've got Alicia Eldon, and we've got Renisha Smith with us as well in the cast. Ladies, welcome. Welcome back, Nicolette.
Thank you.
Great to have you all with us. Renisha was here before as well, but welcome back. All right, so Nicolette, you were just here last week.
That's right.
Playwright? I was very surprised. I had to ask our production assistant. I said, wait, Nicolette Eldon? Have you ever done this before?
No, I haven't. But
Wow.
Good morning. Thanks for having us. So good to be here, and especially on the heels of Dr. Grimes' contribution just now, where she talked about aging. We have the perfect prescription for aging, and that's laughter.
Oh,
I love
hey,
that.
well, that is
Yep.
definitely
So
true.
I was here last week wearing a different hat.
Very different.
You sound traumatized, Dwight.
Not really,
No?
when you think about it, because communications is all about writing and communicating.
Hey.
So I guess I'm just writing in a different style.
That is true. That is true.
Yeah,
So
but-
you say you've never done this before?
Never written before.
Mhm.
I've written speeches. I've written skits. Never a play.
Okay.
Yep. So I've found joy and I guess healing with developing the storyline, because it comes after a profound loss for me when I lost my brother tragically, and I needed some way to process those emotions. Our plans were halted by COVID, so this was supposed to be put on many years, well, not many, but some years ago. My father subsequently passed. And then I revisited the script, and I decided to pay a tribute to his life. And that's where we got started earlier this year. And I'm happy to be a part of such a dynamic cast. Oh, my goodness. So I'll name off some of the names. So we have veterans and we have newcomers. We have veterans like Hartman Brown, Antoinette Knowles, Beaumont Todd. We have some nosy cooks, played by Hilda May, played by Hope Shelley-Ann.
Okay.
And Lou Berry, played by Franz Ferguson. And then newcomers, Brandon McPhee, Alicia Eldon, Oshika Turnquest, Cyril Saunders, and Letitia Fowler. And this is Ronisha's second time on stage, and I'll let her introduce her character.
All right.
Very sassy.
Renisha, tell us about your character.
Good morning. Good morning. I am Shaniqua.
Oh, boy.
And Shaniqua is very sassy, very playful, very witty. But she also has that soft side of her to Papa Joe, who is the main character in the story, played by Mr. Hartman Brown. So you just have to come on out and see it. I can't say any more. Come on out and see it.
All right. So without giving away too much, give us the premise, the basic premise of what Papa Joe's Cafe is all about. Alicia?
So Papa Joe's Cafe follows Joe, who just lost his wife, and he's trying to get back on his feet again, trying to keep his cafe, trying not to go into debt. And then you have him surrounded by his friends and the regulars in the cafe, all the drama, the Breakfast Bunch, which I am a part of. I play one of the people in the Breakfast Bunch. Come in and talk about politics. You have Shaniqua and the cooks and all of this drama going around him while he's dealing with his grief. And eventually it helps him through it because he needs people, and he learns that, it's the support of friends and family that get him through his journey. But there are a lot of twists and turns. It's not a sad story. It is hilarious, and it is full of drama, and it is a show you don't want to miss.
Wow. All right, so we'll get details about the showings and when people can see it. But tell us about the process. You said it came out of a place of pain. But what was this like, writing this for you? And then we'll talk about how it was to get it to the stage.
I think where I found the healing was developing the characters, because it was then that I found joy, right? Where did I see this play coming? So I almost started at the end, and started backwards, if that makes sense. I think anyone who writes would understand that concept. But I think for me, as the writer, the healing actually came from developing those characters. And I have my favorites. I'm not going to call any favorites. And I think the audience, the audience will definitely have their favorites as well.
So do you know all of these? Like, each character represents someone that you know personally?
Actually, I pay nods to family members who have passed. So yeah, definitely. But I touch on xenophobia as well.
Okay.
And that's where Lou Berry comes in. Lou Berry is one of the cooks who comes from Managua. I have to say no more, right?
Wow. All right. So you said just this year you thinking you got it going to the stage. You started that process, right?
Well, the process started in 2020. My brother tragically lost his life in 2019. So right after that, I began putting pen to paper and processing the emotions and the thoughts. And then when my father died, I just brushed up the script because some of the political satire that was, I guess, relevant then was no longer relevant.
Right.
So I had to brush it up a little bit. And we started rehearsing right after Easter.
Okay.
So we've just been in about 5 weeks, and we're ready to go.
Yeah.
Really excited about it.
Was it challenging to get the everything together to bring it to life?
I thought it would have been stressful, but it's been amazing how the cast have come together, and they've also rallied around me. We had dress rehearsal on Friday night, and when I saw Joe, it was almost a trigger for me because it reminded me of my father, and he has been phenomenal in bringing that character to life, Papa Joe. I mean, it was exactly how I envisioned it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. So tell us when, where is this going to be?
Okay, so it's going to be on this Friday and Saturday, July 12th and 13th, 8 p.m. nightly at the Performing Arts Center at University of the Bahamas. Okay. And I promise you, Bahamians, if you come 8:01, you'll be late.
Okay.
We will start on time.
Where do you get tickets from and how much are they?
Tickets are $35. You can purchase them through the Alive Events app. So we've used technology and Alive's innovation. And also you can call us for tickets, 525-1609 or 525-7102.
Okay, $35.
$35.
Yeah. And again, just Friday and Saturday at 8.
At 8 p.m. sharp.
Any plans for any further showings?
I think that'll be determined by our audience, and if they ask for an encore, our team, our cast, they are excited and ready to put on an encore.
Yeah. Shaniqua, you... Anisha, are you ready? Are you ready for... Well, is Shaniqua ready? Let's put it like that.
Shaniqua is always ready.
Yeah. Tell us about your journey on the stage. Again, this is only your second time.
This is my second time. When Nicolette initially did call me and ask me, I was like, yes, let's go. What it is I need to do. And I'm just, I said to her, just pray. I'm just praying that I remember my lines. But so far, I have not forgotten. So, yes, it's going to be dynamic, though. All fun and jokes aside, it's going to be a dynamic performance.
Yeah.
So, please come on out.
Yeah, this is always something that you wanted to do, acting? Or where did this come from?
Somewhat. Originally, I wanted to be a commentator, like what you're doing.
Oh, boy.
And so I don't know. I guess it developed from there. Mr. Jima asked me last year to be a part of the Summer Madness cast. Right. And then this year, Nicolette asked. So we'll see where it goes.
Yeah. And Alicia, your character, tell us the name again.
My character's name is Natalie.
Okay.
A part of the Breakfast Bunch. So I'm only 19. I'm playing someone that is like 60 plus.
Oh, wow.
So
what was that like?
I love it. I love bringing characters to life. I love bringing characters to life that are the complete opposite of me. Nicolette is my mom, as I'm sure you've realized. But she's been acting since primary school. And of course, when she was doing it, she had me there since I was 6.
Mm-hmm.
So this is my second time having a lot of lines, but I've been on stage since I was 6 with her. So
you've been bitten by the acting bug.
Yes,
Yeah.
and I love it. But yeah, I love costumes. I think that's my biggest thing with bringing my character to life.
Mm-hmm.
When I start developing my costume, I put on my wig, I put on everything, all the makeup that I feel my character needs to be brought to life and to become a new person, then I I bring that to life, and it's been a really, really fun journey.
Wow.
Yeah.
The breakfast
Yeah,
Oh,
just
sorry.
wanted to add, if you can add the backdrop for Papa Joe's, what is the name of the restaurant that Nicolette used to visit?
Yes. So it was inspired by VG's Cafe because her and my grandfather used to go there. He's a boat captain, so every time he'd come to Nassau, they'd go there together. So the set and the setting is inspired by the traditional Bahamian cafe.
Okay,
And of
wow.
course, the breakfast bunch, me and my 2 other ladies, we come in there like how the guys are at McDonald's. And, you have
I can
the...
picture it now.
Yes. So they are a lively bunch, very, very passionate about politics. And yeah, there's a lot of political satire, a lot of drama, like I said before.
Timely,
Nicolette?
timely topics.
Yeah, I bet. So, can we expect more writing from you? Do you feel it's sunken in that this is gonna be a thing? This is who you're gonna be, in addition to all the other things.
She'll answer it for her. Yes.
Yeah, she's.
Yes, we
this-
discussed it last night. Yes. Literally last night.
Yeah.
Listen out for part 2, and this
Oh.
one will more than likely be written by the entire cast.
All right.
We were deliberating last night about where we want our characters to
Oh.
go, and it was so much fun.
Yeah, it was
We've
really
truly become a family.
Yeah.
And it's been so fun getting to know everyone and really coming together and helping each other bring the characters to life.
Yeah. Deandra and I were talking about this at the start of the show, that you're hearing more and more productions in the last few months. What do you think is contributing to that? What's going on here?
I think it's an outlet for the creatives, and there's a platform. There has always been a platform, but I think it's the outlet needed. I think the creatives are just allowing. I think COVID created an opportunity for us to take a step back and use those creative juices, and I think now it's just coming to fruition.
Yeah.
That's my thought. I'm not sure if that's true or not, but I think COVID played a role in developing
think you're onto
whatever was hidden.
No, I think,
agree.
the opportunity during the pandemic for persons to really explore their artistic sides, their hobbies. I mean, everybody became a baker during COVID. And so it gave persons not only the time, but also the appreciation of life itself to explore those facets of themselves they didn't really have time for before, or, the inspiration. So I think I agree with you.
Yeah, absolutely. For me, during COVID, I've always been in the corporate world. Never considered myself an entrepreneur. I'm like, this is going to be my lot in life. I'm going to be a corporate woman. And until my job was threatened, and it was like, okay, where do I turn? And my sister had been given a sewing machine that Christmas. And she picked me up from work one day and she was like, we're going to make masks. I was like, me? I can't sew. I didn't sew, but I knew how to organize and have an assembly line and market her mask. And we had the kids working too. Yeah. So we all became entrepreneurs.
They were
at that
volunteering
point.
for all of those listening, not indulging in child labor at all.
Thank you, Deandra.
Wow. So, any timeline on part 2? What are you thinking?
We're considering October or November. Alicia leaves in just a matter of weeks for college. And I'd really like her to be a part. She's been very instrumental. As a matter of fact, she's the assistant director and also the creative director. She would have assisted with designing our set. Wow. So I'm wondering, hey, can I do this without her? But then again, I have people like Ronisha, who's the strength of the cast, and she's been a strong support
Yeah.
system. So we're looking at October or November.
Okay, all right. And only 19? Wow, Alicia. Okay, that's
Yes.
pretty cool. Are you going to study something like this? Or what are you going to?
Yes, I'm planning on studying architecture and interior design. So
Okay.
this is my thing.
Yeah.
I love art, so
Excellent. Excellent. This is great. Okay, remind folks about the dates, the times, where to get all of the tickets, everything they need to know.
So once again, tickets are $35 this week, Friday and Saturday at 8 p.m. University of the Bahamas Performing Arts Center. You can call us 525-1609 or 525-7102. And today we'd love to give some of the listeners tickets to come and see the show on Friday.
Wonderful, wonderful. Okay, so how are we going to do this? We're going to do some. You want to do some trivia?
Okay,
Yeah.
so if you can tell us 2 names of the characters or 2 names of the cast, then you get your tickets for
Okay,
Friday.
so you get 2 tickets. If you
Yes.
get that, so either 2 character names or 2 cast members.
Yes.
Be the first person to call in with that. Oh, the phone line's lit up already.
I love it.
Listen,
This
the
better
name
not
is
be
like
somebody in the
three
cast.
things.
Is it somebody in the cast? 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us 422-4796. We've got a couple calls here. Let's take this. Good morning, caller. Do you know the answer to the trivia question?
Good morning, and good morning to your guest. I think I do. I know the main cast, the one that is Papa Joe, and then the kind of sassy young lady. I think it's Shaniqua or Stephanie.
right.
Congratulations.
Excellent. So stay on the line, leave your name and number, and you can pick up your tickets. Does it matter which day this is?
This is Friday.
This is Friday. You can go on Friday, right?
Night tickets.
Yes, opening night.
Yes, caller?
Yes, thank you.
Friday?
Thank you.
Okay, so come after 10 to pick up your tickets. Just leave your name and number. Thanks a lot. Congratulations. All right, well, look at that.
Look at that.
That was quick.
What
That
a
was fast.
done.
One more time. Tell people time, where, when, what to do.
Yes, so it is 8 p.m. this Friday, July 12th, and Saturday, July 13th at the UB Performing Arts Center, 8 p.m. Tickets are $35, and you can call 525-1609 or 525-7102 to get your tickets delivered.
Okay.
Or visit us on Instagram or Facebook. The handle is Current Cut Productions.
Okay.
Shoot us a message or feel free to follow and like our page
And can you buy at the door? Is that possible?
if we're not sold
If
out.
you're not sold out, okay.
But
All
yes.
right.
Yes, you can always purchase tickets online on the Alive Events app.
Okay.
Yeah, so it depends on if you want physical or digital tickets. It's all up to you and your preference.
All right.
Yes.
Wonderful stuff. This is very exciting. Looking forward to it. Nicolette Eldon, Alicia Eldon, and Renisha Smith. Congratulations. Look, keep up the great work. Break a leg, as they say in the theater, right? And Papa Joe's Cafe, Friday and Saturday at UB Performing Arts Center.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. All right, we're going to take a break and be back with the rest of the show. Morning Glen Business here on Guardian Radio 96.9.
Think this man is mine. All day I did home with his little baby kiss. And he reached for me. Huh? Well, anyway, I gonna fall down the road to see if he down this place down the road. And if he down there, there gonna be some problems. Because guess what? I got a headache and I tired mine. Every other night, Andrew would call round. Tell him nice little wife he gotta work late. But he go to the bar to catch a few with the boys. Let dominoes, drink the liquor and make noise. Now Andrew say, man, you gotta be the king of your house. So make up your mind if you're gonna be mine or mine. The bartender shot across the room. If Andrew there,
Ready to save? You can put $100 into the CFAL Savings Express Plan and make sure your money keeps growing. Earn interest on your savings while you're sleeping, eating, or standing in line at the bank. Ready to invest? Start by putting $1,000 into our mutual funds and earn interest there too. Because at CFAL, your interest is our interest. Visit CFAL.com to start now. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations of Bahamians.
My name is Coach Kevin Johnson. I'm a teacher at C.I. Gibson High School, and I coach basketball. A lot of our young men and women, they look forward to being around the game of basketball so much because a lot of their community is infested with crime and violence. It's always been a passion of mine to make sure I channel these young men and women in the right direction through sports. Basketball and being in this environment is a safe haven for them in terms of what they need to do to get out. You have leadership conference to help these young men and women to understand the importance of making the right choice. I tell all of my athletes, when you go to school, help yourself. Stay focused. I love the game. The game has been good to me, and I just want to give back to the young people who have opportunity so the game can be good to them. Crime-free looks like me.
Do your part. Join the movement to a safer Bahamas.
Now let me see now. 326 EPIC. Hello. This Epic Eckert battery. This Miss Beulah from round the corner. I hear you're selling tires now on Wolf Road too.
Praise the Lord. It's about time. I live Fox Hill and Fire Trail. It's too far.
That ain't all. They open Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. On Sunday and holiday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m.
My brother Sam, he's a hacker, and he could go right there and get fixed up.
Call us at 326 EPIC. We ship also to the Family Island.
All those loans I had were so overwhelming. Fidelity's debt consolidation loan combined all my loan payments into one easy payment with a built-in savings plan that pays me unbeatable interest. It's time to make that move to Fidelity. Call 356-7764.
Fidelity, we're good for you.
You try to rest, but roll with the best. For all your printing needs, there ain't no one better, no. For posters and banners, magazines and flyers, for window decals, greeting cards and newsletters. No job too big and there's no job too small. You name it, we can print it, just give us a call. Let Print Masters bring your masterpiece to life.
Located in the Nassau Guardian Building, telephone 302-2361.
Earning zero interest on your savings at the bank? With as little as $100, you can start earning interest on your money while you're sleeping, eating, or standing in line at the bank with the CFAL Savings Express Plan. Ready to invest? Start by putting $1,000 into our mutual funds and earn interest there too. Because at CFAL, your interest is our interest. Visit CFAL.com to start now. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations of Bahamians.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
And it's time now for your Morning Blend Business Report, brought to you by CFAL. As you heard from our live broadcast at the Nassau Cruise Port on Friday, after only 1 year as a newly renovated cruise port, Nassau Cruise Port has been nominated in the 4th Annual World Cruise Awards for Best Cruise Terminal in the Caribbean. Chief Executive Officer And Regional Director of Global Ports Holdings Americas, Mike Moore Jr., said the nomination is a nod to the hard work and commitment of NCP stakeholders and partners like taxi drivers, hairbraiders, port retailers, and other downtown partners. In a statement, NCP said that since the port's opening last May, it has reestablished Nassau as a premier cruising destination, as its expanded berths and larger scale helped to set a new daily passenger record of 29,316 and a new annual passenger record of 4.4 million. The president of the Bahamas Association of Air Transport Operators, Anthony Hamilton, says there needs to be subsidies for domestic aviation operators in order to level the playing field with Bahamas Air. He says that the aviation sector needs to be decoupled from the tourism sector so it can get the attention it needs. Hamilton telling Guardian Business that the aviation industry needs a greater focus on to extract revenue from the bottom line in terms of GDP for the country, and that aviation is a prime vehicle to do that. He was speaking out after the Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Tourism, Investments and Aviation, Chester Cooper, said in Parliament during debate on the Civil Aviation Amendment Bill, saying that it seeks to bring the civil aviation industry more in line with international standards. And the vertical blue free diving competition, which has been held at Dean's Blue Hole on Long Island for the past 16 years, is being suspended due to poor infrastructure on the island. That's according to Director William Trubridge. In a letter announcing the decision, Trubridge said conditions on Long Island have been declining since the start of the event in 2008. The statement says it's now common for utilities to have outages for the majority of the day, occasionally for weeks on end. He said the roads have deteriorated to the point where it's unsafe for them to be driven on, where there were once 3 commercial airlines servicing the island with a minimum of 2 flights a day. There's now a single inconsistent carrier that is often booked out. Trubridge also lamented the closure of all commercial bank branches on Long Island. He said all of this means that it has become impractical and even unsafe to host an event such as the Vertical Blue on Long Island. He says athletes, crew, and spectators have difficulty finding flights to the island, and that it's common for baggage to be left behind and even for flights to be canceled. And if no other crowd-funded company that came off the freshman list at the start of Arawak Access short run as an investment house can claim success, Tropical Gyros is the exception. Tropical Gyros opened its first franchise location. It's opening it today at the Prince Charles Shopping Plaza and has another franchise deal in the works for Western New Providence. Chef Kevin Culmer telling Guardian Business that he's in talks with investors to open the first international franchise in the Turks and Caicos Islands as well. Read all about this success story in today's Guardian Business section. Overseas, Boeing will plead guilty to a criminal fraud charge stemming from 2 crashes of 737 MAX jetliners that killed 346 people. The Justice Department in the U.S. making that announcement late Sunday after the government determined the company violated an agreement that had protected it from prosecution for more than 3 years. U.S. federal prosecutors gave Boeing the choice last week of entering a guilty plea and paying a fine as part of the sentence or facing a trial on the felony criminal charge of conspiracy to defraud the United States. Prosecutors accused the American aerospace giant of deceiving regulators who approved the airline and pilot training requirements for it. The plea deal, which still must receive the approval of a federal judge to take effect, calls for Boeing to pay an additional $243.6 million fine. That was the same amount it paid under the 2021 settlement that the Justice Department said the company breached. An independent monitor would be named to oversee Boeing's safety and quality procedures for 3 years. The deal also requires Boeing to invest at least $455 million in its compliance and safety programs. The entertainment giant Paramount will merge with Skydance, closing out a decades-long run by the Redstone family in Hollywood and injecting desperately needed cash into a legacy studio that has struggled to adapt to a shifting entertainment landscape. It also signals rise of a new power player, David Ellison, the founder of Skydance, and son of billionaire Larry Ellison, the founder of the software company Oracle. Shari Redstone's National Amusements has owned more than 3/4 of Paramount's Class A voting shares, though the estate of her late father, Sumner Redstone, through it, at least. She had battled to maintain control of the company that owns CBS, which is behind blockbuster films such as Top Gun and The Godfather. Just weeks after turning down a similar agreement with Skydance, Redstone agreed to a deal on terms that had not changed much. The new company is valued at around $28 billion. Skydance, based in Santa Monica, California, has helped produce some major Paramount hits in recent years, including Tom Cruise films like Top Gun Maverick and installments of the Mission Impossible series. The on-again, off-again merger arrives at a tumultuous time for Paramount, which in an annual shareholder meeting in June laid out a restructuring plan that includes major cost cuts. Leadership at Paramount has been volatile this year after its CEO Bob Bakish, following a number of disputes with Redstone, was replaced with an office of the CEO run by 3 executives. 4 company directors were also replaced. And British Prime Minister Keir Starmer is seeking to reset relations at home and abroad during a visit Sunday to Edinburgh. He billed as an immediate reset with the regional governments of Scotland, Northern Ireland, and Wales. Starmer said he would also seek to improve the UK's botched trade deal with the European Union. Starmer said there were many discussions ahead to strengthen trading, research, and defense ties with the EU. But he said those talks had begun as his top diplomat made his first visit abroad to Germany, Poland, and Sweden. With 2 of Starmer's ministers in Europe ahead of a NATO meeting next week, the Premier made a point of visiting the leaders of the regional governments in the UK following his party's landslide victory last week. Starmer, who said he has a mandate to do politics differently, met with Scottish First Minister John Swinney in an effort to turn disagreement into cooperation. While each of the devolved nations in the UK elects members to the House of Commons in London, they also have their own regional parliaments. Closer to home in your Market Watch, recapping trading on the BISX. From Friday, your market movers, AML Foods Limited moving 500 shares, closing at 560 unchanged. Bahamas First Holdings Limited moving 33,276, down 10 cents to 211. Commonwealth Bank moving 169 to close at 522 unchanged. CIBC First Caribbean Bank moving 100, closing at 1431 unchanged. Consolidated Water up 23 cents to $5.07. Emira Incorporated unchanged at 811. The BISX All Share Index closing at 2,937.41, up 0.12. Recapping the week, the local market ended the week with 97,750 shares crossing the exchange with 29 trades, accumulating a value of $459,642. The BISX All Share Index lost 7.80 points, or 0.26%. Year to date, the index is up 84.10 points, or 2.95%. The week's volume leader was Bahamas First, moving 33,276 shares in 2 trades for a value of $70,129. The value leader was Commonwealth Bank, moving 17,619 shares in 4 trades for a value of $92,012.37. That's your Market Watch. And that is your morning business report, brought to you by CFAL, growing wealth for future generations. And tune in tonight to CFAL Talks, 6:30 p.m. right here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We're back here, our final few minutes of Morning Blend Business on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with Deandra Cartwright, our Long Island gal. correspondent. All right, so I want to get your understanding of this story here. Our Rachel Scott, also Long Islander, writing about this. The Vertical Blue competition. How big is this thing?
Oh, it's pretty big. So the thing is that Dean's Blue Hole, as we all know, up until a few years ago, was the deepest point for free diving in the world right now, right? But now it's the most accessible point for free diving. Persons go there regularly to try and break records, make their own records.
Seen pieces on 60 Minutes even.
Yeah,
about
we've
it.
actually had documentaries about the space. That's why anytime it's threatened for real estate deals or anything like that, Long Islanders tend to get pretty sensitive about that because we all know what it brings to the economy, the local economy. For instance, when you have these competitions, you have vendors that go down to the beach and they're selling food, drinks, local crafts and things like that to persons who are visiting, right? And considering that Long Island is one of those that does not get as much high numbers and visitors and whatnot, these events, it's a pretty big thing for our people.
Yeah.
So when you have these folks now saying that they are unable to facilitate this competition, my people, my Long Island people, are up in arms about it. And this is just the most recent installment of disappointments because the things that they're talking about have been things that we as a people have been raising for months and years. Our roads have been messed up for God knows how long. The water situation has been ongoing.
Last week is bad.
Electricity cutting in and out. I was just home for regatta. Electricity was going out very frequently. I know Eleuthera also has similar challenges, but I think, those of us who are here on New Providence, we're not hearing enough about what our family islands are going through. Data connections are insane when you're on the island. Beyond that, what the representative is speaking about, the availability of funds, and a lot of businesses have not transitioned to online banking, and then that's also in part because there's infrequent accessibility of data connection.
Right.
So you
can't really be cashless.
Right. And so if you only have one working ATM that can only be serviced when money is physically brought up to the island, it's crazy.
Poor infrastructure, the roads, the electricity, the water, the airlift, the banking.
Do you know how hard it is to actually get a ticket to get into Long Island and from Long Island? Like, I'm trying to, using myself and as an example, I am unable to bring my baby sister down here on a particular date because it's all sold out. Keeping in mind that flights on Bahamas Air are usually shared with another island in most cases. And we're not even talking about the runway that needs to be properly paved for certain lengths to receive larger aircraft. And that is not a challenge. These things that I'm speaking about are not necessarily challenges that are only unique to Long Island. They are happening throughout so many of our family islands, and it's very disappointing. It really is. So when you have something like this, and can you really blame them? Can you really blame them? Because if you're traveling for this competition, you're coming with your equipment. So if you are coming on that plane and your equipment is left behind and they literally will tell you it's not going to be able to come till the next day, then how are you going to be able to prepare?
And the people who come for this is not like here for a couple hours like a cruise visitor who's spending a couple dollars.
That's preparation. You have to be there for a few days.
Yeah.
That's why it injects so much into the economy.
Wow.
And they're not just coming just from the United States of America, which is relatively close by. They're coming from all over because this is a big thing.
This is very disheartening. This is very sad. This texter is writing, the tourism doesn't seem to matter. How did it feel to be without water for 7 hours in eastern New Providence? I think it was 12. But yeah, this is going on for weeks for us with 20 hours per day, no water. Yeah, that is wild. What is going on Long Island as Brave Davis buys a $2 million elevator for himself, a $2.5 million plane, a $200,000 car, finances a trip to Botswana for $500,000 with an entourage of 70 people. Even a local African reporter raised a question about it. And now Fred Mitchell is talking about a new parliament building because the chairs are uncomfortable while people don't have running water for over a month. Not to mention the oil spills in Abaco and Grand Bahama, the power failures in Nassau last week that Joe Beth Colby Davis told us the hand-picked power producer had solved with 2 new generators. Passed the cannabis bill. Nobody voting on that. Wow, that's a lot. That person had a lot to get off the chest this morning.
Just to be clear about that parliament thing, that's been talked about throughout many different administrations, so it's not just unique to the PLP side, but just agreeing with one portion of that.
Talking about it, though.
that when family islanders, even those here on New Providence, when we hear about the expenditure of funds elsewhere on matters that are not impacting us directly, it could be perceived as very hurtful. And then I've personally always been a proponent of the Bahamian on New Providence isn't more important than the Bahamian on Inagua, the Bahamian on Long Island, the Bahamian on Exuma, on Luther, on Rum Key. Like, we just don't hear enough about the challenges they go through. And then also to be told that you are responsible to fix these things. How can you do that if the economy is not able to generate enough funds? Because literally there can be no investment without proper infrastructure. I'm so sorry.
Yeah. And to Deandra's point, in the article in Today by our Rachel Scott, Vertical Blue has been a key event on Long Island's calendar for more than a decade, referred to by some as the Wimbledon of free diving. More than 50 world records have been set at the event over the years. The event has been widely covered by international news outlets and has inspired several documentaries. Just sad that this has to be put off. And God knows for how long.
Not even just put off. The people literally said they're going to find somewhere else so they can do it.
Boy. Sad stuff. Well, hopefully there'll be some resolution to this soon. But my goodness gracious. Deandra Cartwright ended on a sad note, eh? But anyway.
I laughed at the beginning. Those are happy laughs. This one is just cynical. So, yeah.
Hopefully you'll be back next Monday.
Yeah, I'll be here. Maybe you don't bring up the thing that breaks my heart.
Right. And we'll give you more of your emotional coffee.
Yes.
Have a great one. Happy Independence.
You see, I actually wore my colors today.
I'm very happy for you.
Yeah.
And me too, kind of. Right?
Yeah, you
Got
did.
some
You
on
have the
it.
black and you have the aqua on your wrist. So
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'll see you next week.
Every day. Yeah.
I'll be back tomorrow morning with more Morning Blend and Morning Blend Business here on Guardian Radio 96.9. Have a great one, everyone. Stay tuned for On the Clock with Aaron Green next.